Hello and welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnocky, and as always, I'm here with Mr. Matt Stewart.
Hey Dave, how's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Oh man, so good. Oh, actually, that makes me think of a question. How good is it to be alive?
Well, I don't have the answers, but someone who might have the answers this week is our very special guest, returning to the podcast, Alasdair Tremblay-Birchall.
Thank you. And to answer your question, Matt, it's fine. Yeah.
How good is it to be alive? Fine to be alive.
The thing is that I prefer it to not being alive, but it's also not completely filled with absolute endless beauty and joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll sort of sit halfway between me and Dave.
Yeah. Well, you're a big everything is joyful kind of guy?
Yeah, hold on. Which one?
No, I'm the joy guy.
Oh, you're the joy guy?
But though, to be fair, how good is it to be alive? You've never answered the question. We don't know.
Well, it's a rhetorical question. I think implied in the question is that it is very good.
Oh, right.
How good is it?
Yeah,
Great.
that's true.
It's like our friend's football podcast. Joel Douche has a podcast called How Good Is Footy? You're not hearing that and going, well, do they like it or not?
It's true.
I thought that the whole point of listening to the podcast was that eventually at the end you discover whether or not it's good.
Oh, okay, yep.
They haven't got there yet.
No.
Usually our regular co-host, Jess Perkins, who is away this week, would say, I wish I was never born.
Yeah.
And I'm the middle ground, but that's you this week. So I guess I should say, I wish I was never born.
Yeah,
Are you happy
sure.
now?
And we pray for Bob because...
We do pray for Bob.
Yeah. I hope she's well. I hope old Bopika is doing well.
You're really trying to get Bopika across the line.
Bopika Bopkins.
Bopika Bopkins. Hey, Dave, do you want to explain how the show works? What do you think Al should?
But Al, are you happy to explain how the show works?
I'll give it a go. Well, every week, one of us writes a report and we present it to the other contestants.
Great. Yeah, I'm loving it.
And, but at the moment, it's block. It's blocktober, right?
It is.
And these are the top 100 most voted for stories, and we're only doing 10 of them probably.
We're doing 9, yeah.
Doing the top 9, a big vote, thousands of people voted.
Thousands upon thousands even. Yeah. And today we're on, this is number 4.
Yeah, the 4th most voted for topic. This had over 28% of the vote. You could vote for more than one topic.
Yeah, sure. That's pretty close to the percentage of oxygen in the atmosphere, I think.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's funny because this week's topic is oxygen in the atmosphere.
Wow.
Had 28.55% of the vote. And we get on a topic with a question, Al.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask that question now. Dave vaguely probably remembers the topic, but he doesn't know exactly. You don't have any idea what this topic is. All right.
I'll let you have first go then, Al.
Okay.
My question is, guess the movie based on the cast, and I'll read them. I'll stars last. I'll go up the order, down the order.
Right,
all right, here we go.
Starting at like guy in car number 4.
No, I've heard of all these people.
Okay.
What a cast it is. Vern Troyer.
Whoa.
Buzz in when you think you know the answer.
Austin Powers.
Okay, Dave's locked out. Al, you get...
Do I have to go now or can I
No,
still?
you David Cross.
Okay.
Tony Shalhoub.
Holy moly.
Rip Torn.
Okay.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Whoa.
The poor man's Vince Vaughn.
The rich man's Vince Vaughn. Linda Fiorentino.
Is this... Wait. No, keep going.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Is this Men in Black?
It is Men in Black.
Well done.
Wait. Did you say David Cross or did you say... I thought you said Ross from Friends. That's why I was like, wait, he's not in Men in Black.
He turned down the lead role, though, funnily enough.
Really?
Yeah,
Instead of
apparently.
Will Smith.
I think so.
Who?
The
Ross
guy who
from
plays
Friends?
Ross from Friends.
I think I read that.
David Schwimmer said was going to be the Will Smith character in Men in Black.
Wow.
That is awesome.
That would have been such an alternate universe.
Have
I
I
think
made
Trump
that up?
wouldn't have become president.
Yeah, somehow. Will Smith made that happen?
According to CBR.com, it's going to do a long run up here, isn't it? Get to the friends.
Imagine David Schwimmer doing the Men in Black rap.
I know, yeah. Oh, the good guys dress in black. Remember that. In case we ever face to face and make contact.
Yeah, it says, I mean, you know how these articles go. It talks about everything but the topic until somewhere deep in it. But it says a Friends actor almost starred in Men in Black. The Men in Black franchise could have looked a lot different with a Friends star nearly grabbing Will Smith's role in the franchise.
Oh my God, who's it going to be?
And there's a big picture. It's funny they're keeping it a secret because there's a big photo of David Schwimmer.
Who could it be?
Who's it going to be? But yeah.
But then I think they would have had to go for a kind of different guy for the Tommy Lee Jones character.
Yeah, Will Smith.
You know? Yeah.
I don't think I remember David Cross in it. Once I read it, I remembered Tony Shalhoub. Vincent D'Onofrio played that great farmer.
I think that guy needs a spin-off. I actually think about that character a lot.
So good.
Needs sugar and water.
Water.
Yeah.
So yes, we're talking about Men in Black today.
Whoa. Wow.
The film franchise was actually based on a comic book series created by Lowell Cunningham.
Lao?
Lowell.
Wow.
How do you spell Lao?
Lowell. Lowell.
Wow.
Is that the same as the Sufjan Stevens album Carrie and Lowell?
It must be. It must just be a regular name.
Maybe his parents' names?
I mean, it worries me that I've never heard this name said out loud.
Yeah, Carrie and Lowell.
It's not Lowell in any way.
It might be Lowell. Well, as an American, a North American,
sure.
Al, can you help us out there?
Like Lowell and Hardy?
Yes. I never knew how to pronounce that either, so thanks so much.
Yeah, but it probably is Lowell. But I've just always... it's one of those ones I don't think I've ever heard said out loud. Lowell. Anyway, yeah, so...
Beautiful name either way, let's be honest.
The comics were originally published in 1990 by Aircell. Aircell was later acquired by Malibu Comics, which was then in turn bought by Marvel Comics. So it's technically...
Yeah.
It's a Marvel comic book movie.
Yeah, great. So they could have been an Endgame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think because Sony owns the rights, you know how Marvel sold out. Meso on an episode years ago told us about how Marvel, to keep the wolves from the door, or whatever that saying is, had to sell off the movie rights for a lot of their products, including Men in Black. The comics have a darker tone than the action comedy films it inspired. The comic book series features two main characters, like the movies, Agent K and Agent J, who are government agents responsible for monitoring and dealing with the extraterrestrial and paranormal threats to Earth. The success of the comics eventually led to the development of the Men in Black film franchise, which began with the 1997 movie made by Sony, starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. The films took the basic premise and characters from the comics, but infused them with a more comedic and action-oriented style.
Yeah. Right, that's why they got Schwimmer. They thought action. They thought, we got to get Russell.
Action comedy. Schwimmer's the man.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen that bit where he jumps off a bridge and then lands on the top of that open-air bus. I think it just doesn't feel like a real Schwimmer move.
Yeah, they must have just had a very different picture in their minds initially.
Like a guy who wasn't in any way athletic and good for the role. Good for they would have gone, we need a guy like you on our...
But maybe that could have been his opportunity to a few Marvel people have really buffed up.
Yeah,
and everyone's
that's
going,
true.
Oh my God, I can't believe how hot and ripped they are.
Kamal's actually in the fourth Men in Black film.
The international one?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Does he play a villain or a good guy?
I don't know.
Well, the good
Why
guy's
asking me
dressed in
questions?
black. Remember that.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on your perspective, whether they're the good guys or not.
Right. I guess, yeah. Because are they kind of like they're like the cops in a way.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
But yeah, some think they're basically, their job is to hide the truth from your average Joes. So do you think, as an average Joe yourself, do you think that's what a good guy would do? Hide the truth from you?
Well, I think that, one of the few things that would actually... one of the few facts that I could hear that would make me joyful and even cry is finding out that there is another alien, like another species that exists from another planet, and that they have made it here.
Yes.
I think both those facts together, one would bring the joy, and then the other one would make me cry.
Yeah.
Because from joy?
A joyful cry.
It could be from it could be like joy cry.
Yeah. It could be a sad cry or a scared cry if you're finding out when an alien's about to kill you.
Please. Yeah. Please.
Have a family. I mean, we all do, sort of. We've all had parents at one stage.
Yeah.
And I've got a cousin out in Maine, Connecticut. That's a place. I don't know. I'm panicking here.
Please.
My dad's name's Lau.
You can think about Lau.
I still am not sure, and I don't think if I died now, and I don't know how to pronounce Lau for sure, I'm going to become a ghost, and I won't be able to leave until I find out.
I don't want to go with unfinished business. I'll have to haunt you. You don't want that.
You don't want that.
I don't want that.
I just called him Dad.
Yeah. Just let me live.
I think ghosts can probably follow aliens to anywhere in the universe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a huge pain in the ass.
I'm annoying.
As you can tell.
I'm David Schwimmer.
But I think it would have just been a totally different movie, right? Because I was reading recently, you know how Frasier's been rebooted?
Yeah.
Initially, they wanted to have David Hyde Pierce back as Niles, Frasier's brother.
Sure.
And they were going to be, the idea was that they were going to be in Seattle running a black box theater, but they couldn't get David Hyde Pierce. He didn't want to reprise the role.
Yeah.
So instead,
They got Will Smith.
Instead, they got Will Smith and David Schwimmer. Yeah. No, but instead, they've like the show just changed entirely, and now it's set back in Boston, and he's a Harvard professor.
Yeah, wow.
You know, they're like, if we can't have Schwimmer, that story doesn't work. So we'll just, so I imagine that David Schwimmer would have been the same. It would have just been a less actiony film.
Yeah.
Men in Black was going to be men in a black box theater. Yeah. And Schwimmer said no, and they said, all right. We got to rewrite. It's going to be about aliens.
Yeah. So, can I play a paleontologist who has a little monkey called Marcel?
He was very keen on that. Yeah. We've talked about this in a Primates episode. He hated that monkey.
Did he?
Yeah.
It's crazy that he was demanding it for his movie.
As in the actor Schwimmer hated it.
Yeah, hated acting with the monkey.
Was it easy hated being upstaged?
I don't know. Probably.
I think that it might just be that traditional American distaste for the French.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
It was a French monkey.
Yeah, they call them surrender monkeys, don't they?
Exactly,
Americans call
which
the
I
French
think is wrong.
Cheese-eating surrender monkeys? That's not my term.
No.
That's you and your country's term. No, sorry.
I'm from Canada.
You're from
Canadians.
you're from the French Canada.
You've got nothing to do with French people, right?
Je parle français et je dirais jamais ça.
How do you say cheese-eating surrender monkey?
I don't know how to say surrender in French, which is very strange.
They don't have a word for it.
It's
more of a nod over there. They're just like,
come on.
Yeah, I'm done.
Just come on.
I'm out. All right, what are we talking about? We're talking about the film The Men in Black. All right, so the original film has Will Smith playing a police officer who arrests a criminal, but that criminal turns out to be an alien. This leads him to being trialed and then recruited by a secret government agency known as the Men in Black, or the MIB, M-I-B. And they operate out of a hidden office in New York City. The MIB is staffed by a group of specially trained agents who are responsible for policing and monitoring extraterrestrial activity on Earth. These agents are known by their code names. You've got Agent K, played by Tommy Lee Jones, and Smith gets the code name Agent J.
It's weird that they went K before J. They're not going down the alphabet here?
Yeah, but also it's weird that they've created a system where they can only have a maximum of 26 agents.
K1.
Yeah.
I guess. You'd think, once Will Smith was coming in, they'd be like, all right, you're Agent 7B6KJ.
Yeah.
Well, like number plates now.
Totally, yeah.
When I was a kid, it was 3 letters, 3 numbers, and they've run out of those.
Yeah.
So now they're having to do like number, letter, number, or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell, at least with the MI5, they did 007. You know that they could get at least 999 agents out of that.
But it's not 007, Dave. You'll know this is a Bond guy. Is that the letters O, 007? Or is that the number 007?
I think it's 007.
Okay.
But they just say 007.
But I mean, if that would actually be better, because then you could, that's a base 26 number system, essentially.
Right.
So then you would get, 26, 26, and then only 9 out of the last one.
Yeah.
But that's way more permutations.
So maybe that's why they've done it. Anyway, so their primary mission for the Men in Black is to monitor and regulate extraterrestrial immigrants living on Earth, ensuring that they adhere to the laws and do not pose a threat to humans. This includes regulating alien immigration, tracking criminals from other worlds, and preventing any public disclosure of extraterrestrial existence. A nifty device they use is called the Neuralizer, and it is able to erase the memories of all those who have witnessed extraterrestrial events or creatures. The first film was a box office success, making nearly $600 million off a $90 million budget, which led to 3 sequels, including the 2 sequels with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, and then a 3rd sequel, which was the international one with Australia's own Chris Hemsworth.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I never saw that one.
I've still never, I was actually a really big MIB head myself.
Yeah.
I referred to my head as a nib at the time.
Yeah,
I thought
you're
of
a
myself,
mib-nib.
I was a bit of a mib nib.
So yeah, it had the 3 sequels, an animated spin-off, video games, and of course a couple of hit singles by star Will Smith, including the titular Men in Black from the first film, and from the second film, it's hard to forget, Black Suits Comin', brackets, nod your head. And that second one didn't do that well in America, but made the top 20 in Australia and as high as number 2 in the lucrative Dutch market.
Wow,
Holy
the Dutch
moly.
love it.
The Dutch,
Yeah,
They
but
love
it's
to nod
right
their
on
head.
board.
Yeah, it's a very nod-heavy country. That's
You'd think France, you know,
yeah,
the surrender
the
nodders.
surrendering. Sorry, surrendering. I'm not used to using a word for it.
Shout out to our French listeners out there. I don't really have a position on this.
Je m'excuse.
When do what are the famous French
Countries or people?
times they surrendered? The famous surrenders?
I mean, I think the famous one that people refer to is got to do with the Second World War. But of course, they had endured such tremendous losses during the First World War. That I don't think there was a huge appetite for fighting another one.
Gotcha.
So few years later, but that's all I really know.
Well,
I think the Americans
Germany didn't have that attitude, did they?
That's true.
Just looking up Will Smith here, I forgot that Men in Black, it's the debut single, also off his debut album, Big Willie Style.
Man in Black is from Big Willie Style.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Really?
that.
That's
Released June
or
3rd,
is that just
1997.
Is that the international release, or is that?
It's just according to the Wikipedia.org, which is, of course,
Wow.
Will Smith's Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It's the debut solo single of American rapper and actor Will Smith.
Because he had other singles with Jazzy Jeff.
Yes, that's right. There you go.
But this is before. This is not him as Fresh Prince anymore, right? This is him as Will.
As Will. Now I'm Will.
Yeah. Now I'm Will. So he said, like,
Yeah,
Will I am. Is that what he is?
I think that's when he came out and said to the world,
Yeah.
I am Will.
Yeah.
Will I am.
Is this the beginning of Green Eggs and Ham?
I think it might be.
I can't believe it. Big Willie Style.
Yeah.
That's so great.
It is for you. And then he had Willennium
Wow.
in 99. Did he rip off
Will Anderson. Yeah.
Jeez.
Um,
That's probably the worst thing he's ever done publicly.
I mean, but also, wasn't he a guy, like, to have an album called Big Willie Style, wasn't he also a guy who said that he had slept around so much in the last 25 years or whatever that now actually orgasming makes him physically sick?
Oh, yeah.
I think there's something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's why he does feel...
Queasy or something like that?
Yeah.
Just like the opposite of what an orgasm is for, right?
This might have been what inspired his collab with Billy Ocean in 1989 called I Sleep Much Better, brackets, in someone else's bed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was trying to tell us.
Yeah.
He was trying to tell us he had a problem.
Yeah, but he might also just have had a bad mattress.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know?
And he was friends with Captain Snooze.
Yeah.
He's just sleeping... He's like
Friends with benefits with Captain Snooze.
breaking into a bed shop every night.
So that was... That's probably the most famous of the Men in Black stuff. But Dave, you'll know a bit about this. The Men in Black also feature in the X-Files series a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're sort of in the background. They'll rock up at scenes and stuff. And they're played less for laughs than in the film franchise. The agents are depicted as sinister and intimidating government operatives working to suppress information relating to aliens and other government conspiracies.
Yeah, sometimes it's sort of like a mini army sort of shows up with machine guns and just starts shooting shit.
Yes. Like the start of the rebooted series in like 2016 or whatever. I guess they were those guys that rock up to the UFO crash site.
Yeah,
They're Men in Black.
They are gung ho.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
right.
my question is, what are they doing all day long? Those people. Are you sitting around with your machine gun by your leg, waiting for the government to call and say, "Hey, people are finding out about aliens. You got to go now."
A lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
It sounds like it would be a lot more like being a fireman, you know, like because you're just kind of waiting, but you're just living at the station or whatever.
Yes,
and
but
a lot of playing cards
in your
and stuff.
suit.
In your suit, yeah. You're
Do they have mib poles?
mib. They got to
Go
slide
down the mid-pole.
Yeah, but they climb up it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also quite efficient because they live downstairs at the fire station.
Yeah,
So they get a bit of a 2-for-1. So
because it's more hidden, because
Yeah.
it's a secretive
yeah.
operation. thing
No one's
like that.
expecting you to be down there.
Do the ones in X-Files have any neuralizers, or do they use bullets to wipe your memory?
I think they use bullets from what I can remember.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Don't worry, you won't remember any of this after I put this in your head.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think, in MIB movies, they seem to have incredible technology for monitoring, alien activity and things like that. But how would you do it if you didn't have, if you don't have stuff like neuralizers? Then you probably don't have great. How are you monitoring crash sites and things like that?
Yeah. I think, maybe they just don't tell us about the neuralizers.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Because
true.
they probably got the alien technology from the aliens,
Yeah.
and now they're trying to, and they use that technology to keep us unaware
Yeah.
of the technology.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, none of that is today's topic.
Oh,
We're not talking about some ridiculous fictional characters. Today, we're here to talk about the real Men in Black.
What?
That they are based on. And this topic was suggested by Josh from York in North Yorkshire, Lewis Falstone from Sheffield, UK, and Aaron Wolf from Daytona Beach.
now when you say the real Men in Black, do you mean Johnny Cash?
Yes. Talking about Johnny Cash. I'm talking about the Hives.
Yeah,
They're the men in white and black, but
sure. Yeah. But you got to have a
I'm talking about the Saints, the men in red, white, and black.
yeah.
The men team.
Sure.
So yeah, we're going to talk about anyone who's ever worn black and is a man.
Great.
So it's going to be a long one. Strap yourselves in. But we're going to start actually by talking about this group, sort of a shady group, something that might be involved in the government called the Men in Black or the MIB. Before we go on to the Hives and other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great.
That's
We got time.
It's a good starting point.
And the concept of the Men in Black can be traced back to the 1940s. It's
What was happening then?
flappers were they 20s?
Flappers at a dancing thing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
Yeah, there's probably a few
Dun, dun,
few
dun, dun,
older
dun,
Poirot,
flippers.
I reckon, was still kicking in the 40s.
Yeah,
Was he?
all right.
Still alive.
Yeah, a bit of, is it Art Deco era?
It's a bit after that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's a bit after that. It was like
It's post-Art
1930s.
Deco.
but
Art Nouveau.
Oh, yeah. Could have been
What does
Art
that mean?
Nouveau.
Art Nouveau. I mean, that's a similar thing, but we could also talk about World War II.
Oh, World War II.
Yeah, World War II. Foo Fighters.
Fitzroy's last ever premiership in 1944.
Oh. They're gone right now.
Yeah, they've been swallowed by Brisbane.
Oh.
The Lions in
Swallowed
Brisbane
by a
Lions
lion.
is Fitzroy. They were the Bears,
Yeah, right.
whose mascot was a koala. Anyway, the concept of Men in Black, 1940s. This all started to come to light in the 50s when Gray Barker released a book titled They Knew Too Much About Flying Saucers. This was released in 1956, and it details accounts of those who claim to have had encounters with aliens before getting visited by strange men in dark suits.
Oh,
According to Austin Harvey, writing for All That's Interesting, from Barker's account, the first mention of Men in Black can be traced back to June 27th, 1947, and a man named Harold Dahl in what came to be known as the Maury Island UFO incident. According to Dahl's account, he was on a conservation mission, gathering logs with his son Charles near the eastern shore of Maury Island in Washington, in, I want to say Puget Sound, or is it Puget Sound? Does that mean anything to you? Puget?
That doesn't mean anything to me. I'm French.
Puget.
Puget.
Puget Sound.
Peugeot.
Puget. And as he was working, Dahl claimed he saw 6 donut-shaped objects hovering in the air.
Oh my God, flying donuts. That's awesome.
Oh, those would go great on a saucer.
Yeah. That's what the saucers were for.
Yeah.
Just below were flying saucers. And they were roughly half a mile above his boat. Before he could make any sense of what he was seeing, one of the objects fell from the sky.
Jesus.
According to Justin Sablich, writing for History.com, this was followed by raining metallic debris, some of which hit Dahl's son Charles on his arm,
Oh, no.
as well as the family dog who didn't survive the ordeal.
Oh my gosh.
Dahl was able to take some pictures of the aircraft with his camera, which he later showed to his supervisor, Fred Krisman. Krisman was skeptical, so he went back to the scene to look for himself. I guess not that skeptical, otherwise you'd be like, that didn't happen.
Sure, yeah.
I'm going to continue with the thing I'm doing.
Yeah.
He was a little open-minded. He went back to the scene, and when he went back, he himself saw a strange aircraft with his very own eyes.
What?
What was it made out of?
His eyes?
Yeah. Was it like, it looks like egg white.
Yeah, I think it was egg white eyes. The following morning, Dahl was visited by a man in a black suit. They went to a local diner.
And it was just one man, so it was a man in black.
Man in black.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Haven't
Johnny
expanded
Cash.
yet.
He said,
Starts with one.
"Hello, Dahl. I'm Johnny Cash. Let's go to the diner. Tell me about this alien."
You won't see nothing.
So they go to this local diner. The man in black takes them there, Johnny Cash himself.
Quite generous.
And the man in black recounts in spot-on detail to Dahl what Dahl had just experienced. He said, "I know what happened to you yesterday. You saw some donuts in the sky. Your dog got hit. It's dead. Your son got hit on the arm." He told him all the details. And then he said, "What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe." Dahl was told not to speak of the incident and told that if he did, bad things would happen.
Damn.
I mean, there's a different method. Usually I imagine that they go to them, "You didn't see anything," but he's gone, "You did see something.
Yeah.
And this is what you saw."
Yeah.
Now don't tell anyone.
and I know so much, I probably did it.
Yeah,
I was probably trying to kill your dog.
Yeah, that's right.
It does feel like it's like, have no doubt it had happened.
Yeah, this is aliens
You
are
were
real.
probably questioning what you saw yesterday.
Let me tell you what it is.
You were trying to find some kind of explanation. Well, there isn't one.
Yeah. You might be feeling a little crazy right now. You're not.
Yeah.
You should tell everyone. This is a big deal.
Yeah. There were actual donuts.
Don't do that.
But don't do it.
Sablich continues saying, "The supposed events of Maury Island have continued to fuel conspiracy theories to this day. In particular, the mention of the man in the black suit, which would evolve into a key obsession for UFO enthusiasts and spread into American popular culture as the Men in Black."
So great, but also like men wearing black suits, particularly in that era. I imagine that that's not that uncommon.
Yeah, even probably until like not that long ago, where you'll get all sorts of coloured suits.
Yeah, it was
and maybe in the 60s they probably did as well. But I would imagine there were a lot of times in where a guy would have one suit and it'd be a black suit.
It's a black suit. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Was black reserved for funerals?
Oh.
And then maybe it was more like gray and brown. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, good point.
So maybe that's the perfect like, cover, because then you see a guy in a black suit, you go, I won't bother him.
Yeah.
He's probably on his way
probably bereaving.
Exactly.
He's probably having a bereavement right now.
Yeah. He's probably a bereaver.
He's a bereaver.
Hey, you bereaving?
I'm a bereaver.
I'll leave you.
I'm a bereaver.
And then I saw her face. It was dead. Now I'm
It was
a
an open
bereaver.
coffin. I drove past a funeral yesterday, and it made me think, that is the thing. You wear black to a funeral. What about the white lady? This was a white lady's funeral. So
Yeah.
they're all out there in their, these spotless white outfits. It's like a kick in the teeth, isn't it?
It is
They
a
want
real
to
kick.
stand out.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of this funeral? We are.
Yeah.
The funeral home business is brutal, and you gotta be able to stand out. And being a white lady really helps.
It's an odd one. White lady funerals. But that's big here. Is that an international thing, or is that's just one of ours?
I've heard of comedians coming here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and being like, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
White lady funeral. Now, to think about it, my grandmother, who was a white lady, had a funeral with white lady funerals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Exactly. Target market.
Yeah. So it's weird when you think about it.
It's the kind of joke that American or English comedians come over and say, similar to and you've got your prime minister died drowning, and then you named a pool after him.
Yeah.
They love that one too.
Yeah. There's so many cafes, and I think that I do pretty well in an alleyway here. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But honestly, you got great coffee here.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Yes.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
I was told to say this.
Okay, anyway, so Men in Black. Well, a Man in Black so far. But then we had a guy called Kenneth Arnold, and around the same time, it was only 3 days later, after the Maury Island incident, this guy, who was a pilot, also had a UFO sighting. This was on June the 24th, 1947, near Mount Rainier, Washington. And according to Sablich, even though it was 3 days later, It was the first widely reported sighting, and it kicked off saucer sensation.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. Arnold was contacted by a Chicago magazine editor. So Dahl apparently went to this Chicago magazine trying to sell the story. And the Chicago magazine editor's like, well, I know that this guy, Kenneth Arnold, has seen one. So I'll call him to corroborate the story. And then once Arnold got contacted, he in turn invited 2 Army intelligence officers to help investigate Dahl and Crisman's claim. And then in July of 1947, the 2 Army intelligence officers came to interview Dahl in an effort to gather information. After leaving, though, in their B-25 the next day, the plane caught fire and crashed.
Whoa.
Killing both officers and doing nothing to quiet UFO conspiracists.
Wait, so even insiders, military insiders, have been let's not sugarcoat this. Killed off.
Sugar. Let's not sugarcoat this. Water.
Sugar-coated in water.
Harrison Ford.
He was originally up for the role of the farmer.
Yeah.
I didn't kill my wife. I didn't sugarcoat her, all right?
Give me back my son. No, that's Mel Gibson. Sorry.
That's Harrison auditioning
He'd be
for
in
Mel.
a white lady funeral.
Oh, yeah.
No, so they ask you, so the Dahl's not killed off, but the
No.
army officers are.
Yes, the 2 army officers who were asking questions about it.
So do we think there's possibly that Dahl took them out?
I mean, I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah.
What you do with those,
Yeah.
that's up to you.
So I mean, but they crashed in like a military aircraft.
Yes.
Yeah. Which are known for often like it's one of the most crashed planes of all
Right.
of all
Yeah,
time. I
yeah.
mean, I'm probably
They're-
more during wartime, but
Yeah, it's weird. They often get shot down,
Yeah.
which happens quite rarely to
Yeah.
like commercial airliners.
that's true. Yeah. I don't know why people have they have it in so much for military aircraft.
What have they
Yeah,
ever done?
Yeah.
it's a good question.
I don't know.
Worth
People-
asking here today. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
According to Jacob Gears, and I think depending on some of the articles I'm quoting from are clearly, sort of middle down the road mainstream articles that are just like these things happen. Gears is more of a believer, I think. Anyway, he wrote an article for Thought Catalog.
Oh, sure.
And he said Dahl's story definitely got the attention of various law enforcement agencies in the United States, leading the FBI to write a report on the matter. So he's like, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Are the FBI reporting on something that is just fanciful? I'm not saying either way, but
Sure.
just giving you the facts.
Yeah.
From what I could figure out, the FBI investigated the incident. However, the findings of the FBI report were not particularly detailed or conclusive. The investigation primarily focused on the deaths of the 2 military officers and the possibility of the sighting being a hoax. They determined that there were inconsistencies in the accounts of Harold Dahl and Fred Crisman, leading to doubts about the credibility of their story. In a memo, though, they didn't conclude definitively whether the incident was a legitimate UFO sighting or a hoax, but they recommended no further FBI involvement in the matter.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess if you went to the site, there's the possibility of whatever the aircraft is that fell. Now, we haven't heard anybody mention
No.
what they've found or not found there.
Yes.
But then apart from that, if that's gone, then you're looking around, you're looking at the sky, you're going, well, there's nothing up in the sky now. So it's a really hard,
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, if the vehicle's gone, then you really don't have much.
Yeah.
What about the dog? You look inside the dog, there's probably something in there, some debris.
Yeah, what killed
Yeah.
the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
if the debris was raining down, I mean, it was on a lake, maybe it scattered
Sure.
in the water and they couldn't find it.
some of it would have sugar, debris in water.
Water.
Oh, what that kid's arm?
Everyone listening would have seen the original Men in Black, would understand that reference you're doing.
I hope
Because
because
otherwise it's baffling.
it's one of my favorite scenes of anything in any film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great performance.
Yeah.
Because he's sort of like trying to, his face doesn't quite fit in properly. He's trying to,
Yeah.
it's just
like
it's fantastic stuff.
And his wife is just like, Edgar, your skin is
Yeah.
hanging off your bones.
She's
Yeah.
really good. She has like little roles in a bunch of things. She's always very funny if I'm thinking of the right person.
Yeah, you are thinking about the right person. And I just want their story to be its own movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially as he kind of goes off and he tries to hunt down the MIB guys or whatever. But I want more of that
Yeah, give us more.
in water.
if you're listening, David Schwimmer, and I assume you're still involved.
Yeah.
He didn't sign off to play a role, but he did get residuals or something.
He got some points on
He
the
got
back
points
end.
at the back end, yeah. I don't want to roll, but I do want some points on that back end. According to Gears, Dahl and Crisman later said the incident was, in fact, a hoax.
What?
But
Which one?
the
donut guy.
the one with the dogs and the donuts.
What killed the dog?
But
Did he go out and kill his dog
Oh
and
my
injure
gosh.
his kid's arm?
and he's covered up the story.
And then he
but
went, it's a prank, guys.
it was an
Have you
alien
ever heard of a prank?
No, but then after that, he recanted years later, saying he made the first confession under duress.
The confession of it being...
It's a hoax.
Oh, okay, right.
So he said, I only said it was a hoax because the Men in Black made me, basically.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know
Starting
who to
feel
believe.
like
Yeah.
this one goes up a fair way.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not saying necessarily all the way to the top, but it feels
Yeah.
like it's up in that sort of similar echelon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At what point do you reckon the president is being briefed about these things?
Yeah. It's got to be around this time.
How many years after? Was this years after?
Years after.
That he said it was a hoax?
I think it wasn't too long after he said it was a hoax, but then it was many years after that.
Yeah.
Right. Was this probably around 1997 when he was trying to get some points on the back end
Yeah.
of the Men in Black film?
He
saying
wanted
this-
some
I
points on the
inspired
front
this
end.
movie.
Yeah.
The Maury Island incident was little known until it was published in Barker's book. You know, that book about, with that long name, something like They Knew Too Much About the Flying Saucer or whatever.
Yep.
But it's now seen as a very important incident, at least to the true believers.
Sure.
And this is true for another tale. This is another one of the big ones. This one involves a man named Albert K. Bender.
Oh.
Which is a fantastic name.
Yeah, K. Bender.
K. Bender.
Agent K?
A.K. Bender.
Eh? A special K.
Special K. Bender. Yeah.
Mm.
Gears calls him a doctor, but he doesn't seem to be called a doctor anywhere else. But I don't know.
It's just my nickname for him. All right,
He
call him
might-
the
I'm
doctor.
not
It's
sure.
like
He
a
might be a
sometimes-
doctor.
Like a family friend, you get your kids to call him like uncle.
Yeah.
Same thing. Sometimes if somebody's just
Just
kind
a
of
title.
good enough to you,
Yeah.
you can just call him doctor.
Yeah, well, this is our family's doctor.
Yeah.
Back to Harvey. In 1952, Albert Bender created an organization known as the International Flying Saucer Bureau, a short-lived project mostly known for the magazine it published called Space Review.
Oh, I love that.
I like it. If you're going to start a new magazine, you don't want to corner yourself in too tightly where you're like, I'm going to run out of things to say in future issues.
Yeah.
Space Review.
Yeah. You could talk about planets,
Yeah.
stars, space, but also just like areas within rooms.
Yeah. Oh, this is a beautiful space.
Yeah.
It could morph into a thing where he just goes around to people's places. Oh, what a lovely space.
If he's in danger of like collapsing, he can turn it into an architectural, interior decorating kind of place.
So many options.
Yeah.
At least those two. According to Gears, Bender was a well-written and extremely intelligent researcher. So Gears is definitely like building up his credentials as a reliable witness. In 1955, his research was about to yield serious fruit as he prepared to unveil a paper that would prove the US government had, to one degree or another, covered up proof of UFOs. He planned to publish his findings in the Space Review. That was until he was visited by the Men in Black.
Wow.
Goodness.
Bender claims that 3 men, dressed in all black.
They got 3 now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
Their budget's gone right up.
Yeah, they've been recruiting.
I mean, I don't. This is probably in poor taste, but I'm just thinking about it now. But what if those 2 army guys didn't really die, but they had their deaths fake because they were recruited into the Men in Black,
great.
That's right.
and that makes up the 3.
Of course.
You got to say goodbye to your old life.
I mean, this is simple maths, and it kind of works out, actually.
And I gotta say, I'm not saying that's a yes or no. I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah. But it kind of already, like, it almost seems
Yeah.
illogical to not think that.
Yeah, I think so.
Was it Occam's razor? The most, eliminate everything else. It's the most
Exactly.
likely thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, Occam would believe.
Yeah.
Dr. Occam.
If Occam was here, if Dr. Occam was here. So, yeah, he reckons there were 3 men dressed in black and they visited him at his home and warned him against pursuing the topic of UFOs any further. He's like, move into architecture. Come and have a look at my lounge.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful space.
You could get a photographer, take some beautiful photos.
Okay.
My wife set it up in a very nice way.
And yeah, Gears says, the men left Bender scared for his life, and he immediately shut down all his research and the Flying Saucer Bureau.
Wow, they
Straight
must
away.
have really
Wow.
scared him.
Yeah.
Do you think two of the guys in the Men in Black had really burnt skin and stuff like that?
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
they also actually did go through the crash.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you reckon?
It's the most believable way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's true. So yeah, this is what Gears, who I think is a believer, he says that's how it happened. That he was about to crack this thing wide open.
Oh no.
The Men in Black came. He got so scared he shut it all down.
He's like, I know you guys cover stuff up, but I didn't think you'd cover it up with me.
Yeah.
This is a real surprise.
Yeah. Benjamin Radford, writing for Live Science, on the other hand, suggests that the fact that it shut down around this time might have been for a different reason, saying he offered no evidence of his encounter, and cynics noted that the magazine was losing money and likely would shut down soon anyway.
Okay.
Sure.
He's saying, I don't think he thought about that architectural angle.
Yeah, right.
I think that's what
that's what he was
that's what
gonna-
Radford's saying.
Yeah.
So on one side, people are saying it's true. He got shut down. He was right onto it. And other people are saying that magazine was not making any money.
He was tanking.
He was in a lot of trouble.
This would have been a really big episode, what are magazine episodes called? They're called
Editions?
Edition. This would have been probably the edition that could have saved the mag.
Could have been, do you think it could have been a bumper edition?
I would say bumper. He could have had a centerfold.
Oh yeah.
Of government documents that prove
Right. Sexy government documents.
sexy government documents that allow you to cry and feel joy.
Speaking of sexy government operatives, I've been listening to the audiobooks of the 90s X-Files novels, and the third one's changed author, and he's started describing women in their physical attributes a lot more.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
It's like a real noticeable change. I'm only in the first couple of chapters, but he's just like it's amazing how much like a scientist in this room, how much he describes what she's wearing and stuff.
The white lab coat.
Yeah. That was a beautiful description of somebody's body.
The last thing I heard last night was that she crossed her arms across her small breasts. It's like you probably just assume around where an arm might be crossed.
Yeah.
Has anything spooky happened yet?
A guy. There was some sort of nuclear fire, but it was mysterious.
Nuclear fire.
Well, yeah, he was doing nuclear research. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, research.
And then all of a sudden, it burned up, and now they're investigating how that happened.
Did their sort of suits melt off, and they're wearing bikinis underneath or something?
Oh no, not on laundry day when you were.
I wonder if the first author got the ask. They're like, come on, what are these gals wearing?
It's not sexy enough. It's the X-Files. Come on, X. The
Triple
X. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is Bender's story. He says that he was onto something. It got uncovered. He got scared off. He shut it down. Bender's story caught the attention of Gray Barker, who wrote that book. They knew too much about flying saucers.
Was he worried? I'd be so worried putting it out there.
Yeah, he should be worried.
Gray Barker does sound like a pen name.
Little grey man, Parker.
Oh my gosh, he's an alien.
Oh my gosh.
Then Barker, the author, was the one that connected the dots between the one man in black who Dahl was out with at the diner and the three men in black who visited Bender. He's like, they're all men. They're all dressed in black.
Wow.
Could this be a secret organization? And and that effectively created the idea of the men in black and then brought it to the public's attention in his writing.
Those two events.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And we don't know whether or not they were all just bereavers.
Yeah, that's right.
It could have just been a coincidence that the cops, because probably cops lose probably more. There's probably a big higher turnover of any industry. FBI, do they wear black suits?
Yeah, I think they do.
They wear black.
Oh my god. they're all men in black?
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
they could just be FBI agents.
Yeah, well, that's what some people think, that they're like just like a more secretive FBI.
But maybe they're not even that secretive.
Hiding in plain sight, you reckon?
Yeah.
That's clever.
Exactly.
According to Harvey, in his book, Barker recounted Bender's experience, describing the men in black as, quote, 3 men in black suits with threatening expressions on their faces.
Boo.
3 men who walk in on you and make certain demands. 3 men who know that you know what the sources really are. As in flying saucers, not the people who give them information.
Sure.
Yeah, give me your source. Source or saucer? Which one do you want?
Yeah.
This is confusing.
I mean, in this case, his source is the saucer.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. To you, then they're not
Those words
sound alike.
don't sound alike.
What's the word for sound alike?
Sound alike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sound alike.
Saucer and saucer.
Yes. Saucer and sources.
Sources.
Sources and sauces.
and sauces.
No, wait. No. I'm saying sauces.
How do you say sausages?
Okay. Sausages.
Sausages.
Sauces go on sausages.
Yes.
Right? Then there's saucers.
Yes. Which you
And then
put the
there's-
sausages on with the sauce.
With the sauce.
Yep.
And then there's sources, which is the farmer, the butcher.
Yes.
Where you got these sausages from.
And the crockeryist, where you got the saucer from.
That's right, the crockeryist.
the crockeryist. Is that the word you use in
That's
Canada?
how we use that.
I think that's cleared things up.
I'm going to have to go to the crockerist. I've dropped another plate.
Some have said that Bender never recovered after his meeting with the Men in Black. As Gears writes, many people who knew him claim that Bender was a changed man after his encounter. His later works were rambly, almost unreadable, and he seemed to live his life in constant anxiety and terror.
Oh, jeez.
Not nice.
I mean, he did talk about it a lot for a guy who seemed to be terrified or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I guess that's okay.
He kept writing.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of time in between after he shut down the magazine, and then he ended up writing a book about 10 years later about it. But yeah, apparently it was quite rambly. According to Radford, in 1962, Bender wrote a rambling book elaborating on his experience and suggesting that his mysterious visitors may have been extraterrestrials who didn't want their existence known. The Men in Black were not alone. According to Bender's account, they were accompanied by 3 beautiful women dressed in tight white uniforms. I forgot about that bit.
Let's hear a bit more about these uniforms.
Wait. White lady funerals?
Sexy white lady funerals.
That's so funny. There's no more mention of that, but it's just a funny thing that he's written that in.
So 3 agents in black and then 3 women in white?
In white, yeah.
White ladies, there you go.
Were these men all getting married?
Were they looking for a celebrant?
Yeah.
He was in Vegas. Elvis was there. Weddings, or they could have been 3 bereavers at a white lady's funeral.
Yeah.
Wow, each with their own private white lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is all like, a rambling novel, obviously, doesn't always mean that your mind is a mess. It could also just mean you haven't got an editor.
Yeah.
And you're self-publishing a book.
And you got a lot of stuff to get out.
Yeah, or maybe
onto
they
the
just
page.
don't get it. Maybe it's like stream of consciousness kind
Exactly.
of thing.
Do you want to hear a little bit of his writings?
I would love that.
Here's
Me
a
too.
quick paragraph. This is about the Men in Black.
Sure.
So I'll talk about it a bit more later, but there are people who think they're just like an FBI secret agency.
Mm-hmm.
Others think they're aliens themselves.
Sure.
And it sounds like Bender sits in that latter camp.
Yeah.
Writing, they floated about a foot off the floor. They looked like clergymen. Oh my God, this makes more sense for the funeral again.
Yeah.
But wore hats similar to Homburg style, which I don't know what that means. I should look that up. Have you heard of Homburg style hats?
No, but I'm
I
intrigued.
didn't know they had hats.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're sort of like just an old-timey hat.
A Homburg is a semi-formal
Oh, yeah.
hat of fur felt characterized by a single dent running down the center of the crown, in brackets, called a gutter crown.
Oh.
They're kind of just like a fedora.
Yeah, it looks like a fedora to me, but yeah, they're pretty good.
The poster boy is seems to be Winston Churchill.
This makes them
yes.
seem less scary. It makes them like a hat like that.
But
I
they're
don't know.
floating a foot off the ground.
Yeah, well, that
That's-
foot off the ground thing
That's
is
scary, but the hat does seem a little bit silly.
Yeah.
The faces, he continues, the faces were not clearly discernible, for the hats partly hid and shaded them, which is what a good hat does. The eyes of all 3 figures suddenly lit up like flashlight bulbs. They seemed to burn into my very soul as the pains above my eyes became almost unbearable.
Sure. I guess where my theory about the no editor thing falls down now is that some of these sort of feel like really different facts to what he said earlier, where he's like, 3 guys came and visited me, but now he's like, 3 guys, by the way, they were hovering and their eyes were like flashlights.
Yeah, and then the bit above my eyes hurt. Do you mean your eyebrows? Like, what's going on? You got sore eyebrows, sir?
That's how
My brows are on fire.
Imagine that. Like, maybe you're just so surprised. Imagine if you could just keep lifting your eyebrows so high that you dislocate your eyebrows.
Oh my gosh! And then you got to get someone to sort of snap them back into place.
Yeah, that's how you gotta get like.
Someone comes in and says, "Oh my God, your eyebrows are on fire." You're like, "Oh, thank you so much."
Yeah.
No, they're on fire.
And that's where the expression "on fleek"
On fleek,
eyebrows
yes, that's
came
right.
from. But it's from the French word for fire. Feu.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's the French. I couldn't get it close to
Where
fleek.
does the
but-
leak come from?
Well, you know,
That was someone trying to put them out.
that was yeah.
Many see the stories of Men in Black as proof that aliens do exist, right? Why would there be Men in Black if
Sure.
aliens didn't exist?
Also, they are aliens.
Yeah.
If these aliens exist, aliens exist.
Yeah.
That's a good point. As Radford writes, the Men in Black idea was accepted by many in the conspiracy-prone UFO community, partly because it seemed to legitimize the truth of eyewitness reports. No matter how outlandish their story, if an eyewitness credibly claimed that he or she had been threatened, the story seemed more plausible. After all, if the story was bogus, why would the government take an interest in the eyewitnesses, much less to try to silence them?
Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, also, were they living during a time when, like, mental health kind of, facilities had the right to just basically imprison anybody who was insane?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Is it, like, there was a lot more of that kind of back in those days. I don't know if that's the case, but imagine they just go, if you keep rambling like this fucking bullshit, we're gonna lock you up.
Yeah.
Like that.
And they might have been men in coats.
And they could have been in white, because I mean, a lot of those nurses and stuff like that always look like
they might
white.
have been the white ladies.
Could have been the white ladies. They were just nurses.
Yeah.
And then the guys were the guy who run it.
Okay, not a bad conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
You're
come
sounding a little bit cuckoo.
Damn, I'm trying to. It's working.
Here's another interesting story about a run-in with the Men in Black. This one occurs in 1961. And I should say that while there are quite a few mentions of this story online, none of them are from any sort of mainstream media.
Sure.
This one comes from the website, and I mean, who am I to say this isn't a mainstream media website? UFOinsight.com.
Okay.
And the writer is Marcus Loth. And Marcus writes,
Is that Loth or Louth?
it could be Louth. It's probably Louth. Louth writes, perhaps one of the most intriguing experiences with the Men in Black is that of Paul Miller in North Dakota in November of 1961. On the night in question, Miller and 3 friends were returning home following a hunting trip. As they drove along the road on their way home, they noticed a strange object appeared overhead and land in a field at the roadside. As they slowed their vehicle and watched the object, at first thinking it was a plane crashing to the ground, they were all astounded to witness the object vanish into thin air. They drove off contemplating the bizarre scene they had just witnessed when the object suddenly appeared once more. This time, however, 2 humanoids would step from the object. With their vehicle now brought completely to a stop, Miller stepped out and aimed his gun at the strange figures.
We gotta shoot it!
Firing once and appearing to wound one of them. At that point, however, with fear rising in them, the 4 men fled from the scene. It was only when they were approaching their hometown that they began to realize that they had lost around 3 hours of time. This is the thing that comes up a lot. At least it did on the X-Files.
Yeah.
But I think in a lot of stories, all of a sudden the time has jumped forward. Although they attempted to make sense of the events among themselves, they agreed not to report the incident and not to speak to anyone outside of their group about it.
Yeah, we're not going to tell the cops that we shot someone.
Yeah, that probably makes sense.
Yeah, we shot a humanoid, probably a human,
Possibly human.
unprovoked.
Hey, no, they were approaching.
They were
were-
walking towards you, probably on their own land.
They were across a field.
They cut out of an object, a tractor. The following day, however, things took a strange turn. Miller worked in an office for the Air Force. The following day, despite a persistent uneasy feeling about the events of the previous evening, he arrived at work as normal. Not long after, however, 3 strange men, dressed in black suits and ties, arrived asking to speak with him. They would claim to be from the government. However, when Miller asked for identification, they simply ignored his request.
Classic.
Look over there. How's your day?
Good.
Lovely weather.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh,
aliens.
my shoe is undone.
They end up trying to cover up the question so much that they leave. Anyway, gotta go.
Nothing.
Nothing. They ignored his request, and then it was stated to him that they, quote, hoped he was telling the truth about the UFO sighting. And that sent a chill down his spine. Not least as he couldn't understand how they even knew he had seen anything strange. As an answer to his question, they simply claimed they had a report, quote. He's like, I haven't told anyone about this. We all agreed we wouldn't tell anyone about this. To me, if I was him, I'd be like, Greg,
Yeah.
he put you up to this, didn't he? He's,
All right, what a jokester.
That is good. But no, he didn't seem to. He's just like, who are these people?
Again, but it's not that threatening. I hope you're telling the truth about this.
Yeah, which he also hadn't said anything about it, right?
Oh, okay.
But you've probably forgotten, it was mentioned before, but they had intimidating looks on their faces.
Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
a previous encounter, you can only assume they maintain those looks.
Yeah.
Look, they've, a much more practiced look.
Yeah.
By the way, can I just mention that I absolutely love this shit? Like, I could consume stuff like this all the time just because I would love this to be true so much.
Would you say you want to believe?
I want to believe a tremendous amount.
Right there with you.
And,
I don't know, Mulder.
Yeah. And it's just that I can't get the
Can't
logic
take the leap.
in my head to make it work.
Mm.
Just that anything could cross the vast uninhabitable vacuum of space and make it here. And so it makes every other explanation seem more likely to me. That's but I want it to be true.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Definitely want to believe.
Mm.
And I think the truth is out there.
Yeah.
Where
And it might even be in here.
Oh, it could be in the report.
You could be right
Yeah.
here.
And don't forget, trust no one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's my password. It's literally Mulder's password. You watch him type it in. Trust no one.
That's
so
very
good.
funny. We're still on this report from Louth or Loth.
Yeah. And so the 3 guys have shown up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I hope you're telling the truth.
And they said, he's like, how'd you know about this? We have a report.
It's us.
And then Miller realized the men were serious when they, quote, seemed to know everything about me, where I worked, my name, everything else. I mean, they were at his work.
Yeah.
They'd asked him by name.
They're already there.
Yeah.
Wait, you know my name? Do you know where I work? Mate, we're here right now.
I love the trail off to everything else.
Yeah. Everything.
Everything.
They know where my desk is at work.
My desk, they know what I'm wearing today. Even more intimidating were several questions they asked concerning the incident the previous evening, where it was perfectly obvious to Miller that they knew the answers and would consequently know if he was lying. It would be several years before Miller would report the incident to the UFO investigators. He took them seriously and only quite a while later said, by the way, guys, which is a shame because people will often be like, oh, yeah, memory's fallible.
Yeah.
Or infallible. Fallible.
And when you say the UFO
Inflammable.
investigators, you mean like one of these people writing the books and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess he went to the community.
Yeah, okay, sure.
The believers.
Yeah.
Which Al wants to be.
I want to be one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be a believer, not a bereaver.
It wasn't only Americans who received visits from the Men in Black. Apparently it was all around the world.
What?
Here's an example from 1964 in the north of England.
Right.
Another exotic place.
Mm.
This is about a fireman named Jim Templeton. And his story began when he took his family out for a day trip to a marsh.
Mm.
Hey kids, we're going to go to the marsh.
Yay! Woo! I think, it's just like a picnic spot or whatever.
Yeah.
Overlooking a beautiful bit of water.
Yeah.
I think it sounds nice. Marsh isn't the best.
Marsh hasn't
Yeah.
really sold it.
No.
Marsh always sounds like wet land.
Yeah, we're
Like-
going to cross the moor.
I've never
Yeah.
been there, but apparently Bacchus Marsh is beautiful, right?
Really?
But the name is not.
No.
Bacchus
no.
Marsh.
Bacchus
No.
Marsh.
Bacchus Marsh.
Yeah. Is marsh like a swamp?
Yeah, it is like, it's a wetlands.
It's a
I think.
wetland. So it's kind of like just like thin. It's like a thin cover of water over mud.
Yeah, it does sound muddy, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like it would be good if you were like an amphibian.
An area of low-lying land, fun to say, which is flooded in wet seasons or at high tide and typically remains waterlogged at all times.
Yeah. Great.
Let's go down and have a look at the marsh. Am I wrong in saying Bacchus Marsh is meant to be nice?
Sure. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things
Okay, great.
from you.
I
Just
think there's some people with nice big blocks of land out there, bit of bush.
yeah.
Bacchus Marsh. Fantastic. So, yeah, the BBC took on this story and wrote about it a few times, but this is in more recent times. And he told the BBC in an interview, "We went out on a normal outing and picked our spot. We sat down and I said to my daughter, 'Now I'll get some photos of you with the new dress on.' And I never expected this to happen."
Uh-oh.
She said, "Fuck you, Dad."
She said, "Dad, this isn't a new dress. What are you talking about? You're losing it, Dad.
had this for 6 months.
What are you calling new?" I guess it's a bit of a spectrum and it's all relative. And she had this big meltdown.
Sure.
She's like, what is life?
Why was I created?
Having a meltdown on the marsh. Martian. Is that anything?
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, that's really
That
good.
is very important.
Bacchus Martian.
The Bacchus Martian. So anyway, when he said he never expected this to happen, the this he was referring to was when he went and got the photos developed, quite a while later. This is what he saw. Look at the figure behind his daughter.
Oh, wow. It does look like someone. Is that someone in a spacesuit of some description?
It does look a bit like someone in a spacesuit.
That person that figure is now known as the Solway Spaceman.
It looks a bit like, for people at home, it looks a bit like if you've seen Top Gear, it looks a bit like the Stig.
Yeah.
It's the Solway Stigman. So
Yeah, it also just looks like a what are they called? Not a Hamzat suit, but a
Hazmat?
hazmat.
Yes.
Hamza is a
You
wrestler.
two hazmat right now.
Yeah.
You hazmat's attention.
I can hazmat.
You can hazmat whenever you want. Matt.
I'm a cat who's done eating cheeseburgers.
Yes.
And just wants a pat from Matt.
I mean, and I am looking at the photo now on my own screen. There is a bit of cloud cover behind her as well. Is it possible that this is just some sort of cloud?
You think that's a cloud? Yeah, I mean, it could be. Who knows? But he said there was no one else really around.
Yeah.
There was no one back there.
There are no spacemen.
So this is how the BBC described it. A white suit, a helmet, a dark visor. Mr. Templeton, they believed, had photographed a spaceman. This is in the ufologist community. That's what they believe.
Yeah.
For this to be real, for the scale, the spaceman would have to be the size of a skyscraper, right? He
Ooh.
looks huge.
Yeah.
He's in the distance, but then popping up.
Yeah, I don't think we know how big spacemen are.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think we can know.
But we're thinking that maybe he had some kind of invisibility cloak,
Yes.
but it somehow the camera was able to see through it.
Yep.
Obviously an alien who can't breathe oxygen and can't be exposed
makes
to our
sense.
air. If it's one of the ones from the Signs movie, they can't be exposed to liquid water, right? Which there
Sugar?
would be in the atmosphere, liquid sugar in water. They would have to wear a suit technically, those Signs aliens, because there was moisture in the air that would burn them up.
Right. It would be, the odds are that a spaceman, an alien or a Bacchus Martian, traveled so far across galaxies, etc., arrived here. Chances are probably there'd be something here that wouldn't jive with them.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we would probably be able to survive on any other planet unless it had the exact composition of our atmosphere and Earth and stuff like that.
On sliders, a 90s show, they'd slide through different dimensions. and because the multiverse and all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
And they were searching for Jerry O'Connell's home planet. That was sort of the thing. And one time they found it, and everything was. He finally found his own home, but on the way they'd sort of picked up a bit of a ragtag band as he went around, and the
of other Jerry O'Connells.
No, just of other people also were sliding, looking for their own place or whatever. He finally finds his own home planet. I assume our planet. And our dimension. But one of his friends, one of his travelers, can't breathe the air here. And she's dying. So he has to make the split-second decision to slide again.
Oh, my God.
And they don't decide where you slide.
Oh.
Isn't that heartbreaking?
He has to slide away.
He had to slide away.
He couldn't have let her go with the ragtag team?
Yeah, can you throw her through the slide?
He should have thrown her through the slide and said, this is the whole thing I've been trying to do. I can't remember. This is only a vague memory. I might be making it up.
Oh, man. I actually really want to watch that TV series.
Yeah.
Imagine.
My favorite.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned that on this show before. My favorite one, because it wouldn't have been a huge budget show, and sci-fi can cost a bit.
Sure.
Especially when you need a new reality every week.
Yeah.
So one time, everything was exactly the same as Earth, only the women had goatees.
He's like, it's not the same. I can't possibly live here.
I think I would have been like that close enough.
Yeah, I think so. Well, that was like Homer on that Halloween episode of The Simpsons, where he's like, I think, everything was the same, only the family ate with long lizard tongues. Sure. He's like, close enough. All right, back to the BBC article. Other than his wife, Annie, so this is the wife of Jim Templeton, the fireman. Other than his wife, Annie, and two pensioners sat in a car, the Carlisle fireman maintained he had not seen anyone else that day at I think it's Burgh Marsh, Burgh. They say Burr like Burrow over there, don't they? Or Burr or Burgh Marsh, which overlooked the Solway Firth in Cumbria. That's where it gets its name, the Solway Spaceman.
Ah, yes.
It was, he said, only when the chemist who processed his pictures pointed out the shot had been spoiled by a figure that he realised there had been somebody or someone else present.
Chemist was like, oh, sorry. A spaceman seems to have wrecked your lovely photo.
You got a bonehead there in the back.
Got bloody doing bunny ears over your daughter's dress.
Oh, no.
Spaceman. Piss off.
Anyway, I was going through all your photos.
I go through them all.
This one's ruined.
Oh, no. I'll put it in the bin.
I'm looking at all the photos of your daughter.
And you're a chemist?
Yeah.
What a weird time that would have been.
Yeah.
I think
still is to me.
Because you could do it when I was a kid, you could do it in more shops than just the chemist.
It's true, there was cameras, sometimes even
photo
supermarkets
shops would do it.
Yep. Sometimes you can just send away. Yeah. Take it to a lab, like like one of those dark kitchens, but for photos.
I think it probably makes more. That's weirder. Like you're sending it away to a faceless person to look at your daughter, rather than you can look him in the eye, going, "You're looking at my daughter. Are you looking at my daughter in the spaceman?
That's my spaceman.
That's my spaceman, mate. And my daughter. Yeah. I'm more defensive of my spaceman though. He's from another world. He doesn't know his way around. Yeah. Could be taken in by one of your big city chemists.
Have him back by 9 or else. That's picturing him dating the spaceman.
BBC continues. Mr. Templeton took the photo to police in Carlisle, who declared there was nothing out of the ordinary. They're like, it's just a spaceman.
No crime has been committed. It's just a spaceman. Do you want me to arrest this spaceman?
What year was this?
64.
64. So had a man walked on the moon at this point?
No. Ooh.
So would they have ever seen what a spaceman looked like at the time?
Yeah, well, there were people who were getting involved in it.
Yeah, the Apollo mission had kicked off in the early 60s.
But there hadn't been like any space walks at that point.
It wouldn't have got to the point where you could buy one of these suits at a costume store.
No,
right?
of course, I don't think so.
So how did he get it? How did this spaceman get it?
Exactly. Ooh, very interesting.
Very interesting.
This really makes it different. It's amazing that if it is an alien and that they had the same design as the ones that we would have in 5 years' time.
Oh, well, you know NASA, right? They're involved in all this stuff.
Involved. That's where we
That's
got
probably
the
where we
idea
got the
from.
design
from.
But it's funny that they're like, yeah, we know of these aliens who travel light years and light years away. We're going to use their technology to go to the moon.
Yeah. And we can't use their technology to go anywhere else.
No.
Because we didn't get the technology to travel very far through space. What we got was their spacesuit design.
Pretty snazzy, actually.
Yeah, costume parties were never the same.
So the cops are like, there's nothing really out of the ordinary, but they also insinuated it's not a dodgy photo. It's just as it looks. There's a spaceman in your photo. Then I took it to Kodak, the film company, and they said the same thing and even offered a reward to anyone who could prove the photo was faked. But that reward was never claimed. And the media frenzy ensued. It came to the attention of the local paper, the Cumberland News. From there, it ran and ran. It was picked up by the Daily Mail and the Express, said Dr. David Clark, an author on UFOs.
Is he a real doctor or is that a nickname?
I think he's a UFO doctor. Okay. No, I think he's a real doctor of some sort.
PhD in UFOs.
Yeah. But I think he's a skeptic.
Sure.
But I think he's like you, probably a skeptic who wants to believe maybe.
Sure.
Dr. Clark continues, I've put all that onto him, I don't know.
Yeah, that's okay.
Maybe he's not skeptical and he does believe.
We gotta speculate at least
Come on.
Yeah.
Clark continues, some people claimed it was a spirit. Others believed Jim or his daughter had psychic powers they had not been aware of.
Oh, why didn't I consider that? Come on.
He's like, it got weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
People like, the more people found out about the story, they're like, oh, I know what that is. You've got psychic powers you didn't know about. Then came a visit from two men in black.
What?
Who asked to be taken to the spot where the image was taken and referred to each other only as number 9 and number 11. In a different article as number 9 and number 10, but it was numbers.
I got to tell you, that's a better naming system than J and K or whatever.
Yeah, because what's the limit on numbers?
Exactly. Infinity. That's the last guy.
Oh, Agent Infinity.
Agent Infinity.
And that's the difference between this, which is a real thing that happened, and the fictionalized version.
Exactly.
You might see it at cinema. According to Gears, they demanded to see the side of the photo and questioned Templeton about the event. When Templeton told them he didn't see the figure personally, the men became angry and stormed out of the field, never to be seen again. Man, if you're going to storm, a field's the worst place to do it.
Yeah.
You got to maintain a storm for so long.
Especially in like a marshy field.
Yeah.
You're squelching
You're getting
around.
bogged down. And
Oh, yeah. Sorry, can you pull me out with the rope? I'm stuck.
I've lost my gum poop back there. Can someone get it? My sock's all wet.
But I'm still angry.
Yes, I'm still storming.
The only time it's great to storm in a field is if you're a rain cloud, and then, all that goddamn, life that you're bringing back, nurturing with the water. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Dr. Clark says after speaking, so he spoke directly to Templeton, and he said he fully believes Templeton's story, that at least what Templeton's saying is true. He's like, I don't know what's in the photo, but I believe that he hasn't faked the photo. But he did say, I find his Men in Black story harder to believe. Like he reckons he might be fibbing a bit on that. But how do we know what this doctor's affiliation is? Is he a Man in Black?
Oh, that's right. He could be.
He could be a Man in Black.
We don't see what he's wearing.
No, that's right. It doesn't pop off the page.
And do we think that the Men in Black is one organization based in America and they're policing the whole world, or does England have their own Men in Black and everyone's got their own? You know what I mean?
Men in Black International.
Exactly. It's international, which is the fourth one, which you were saying.
Yeah, I assume it's Men in Black International.
He didn't mention them having American accents.
Yeah, he didn't say it was 9 and 11 and they were American.
Yeah.
It was what?
Right.
Oh, 9/11.
9 and 11.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
It's all connected.
9 and 11. Holy shit. Fucking hell. I don't know if we've stumbled on something here.
I'm worried we're going to get a visit tonight.
Oh my god.
Oh, you figured out our 9/11 thing, huh? Don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah. It's definitely real. It's definitely involved.
And then when we said, I don't know what you're talking about, they storm out.
Yeah.
Let's have this meeting in a field just to watch them go.
I've already posted the episode. God damn.
Things got stranger, though, according to Armstrong. Perhaps the strangest turn... Armstrong writing for the BBC. Perhaps the strangest turn of events was a link to the planned launch site of a Blue Streak missile in Woomera in South Australia. Just days after Mr. Templeton had taken his photograph, the missile test on the other side of the world was aborted by technicians who reported seeing 2 men in the firing range.
Oh.
This is just days after Templeton on the other side of the world saw a spaceman.
So there's a spaceman in England. In Australia, there's 2 men.
Yes.
What are the odds?
Well, he doesn't say what they're dressed in?
Wait
Oh
for
my
it.
gosh.
Wait for the chills are about to hit.
Oh my God.
Upon later seeing the Solway Spaceman picture on the front page of an Australian newspaper, they were said to be stunned as the figure looked the same as the figures they saw close to the missile.
2 spacemen
Yes.
were near a rocket launch.
Yes.
They weren't going to ride in the rocket, were they?
Well, maybe they were looking for they were trying to get a ride.
Oh, phone home.
Yeah.
Ride home.
Wow.
But what kind of rocket was it were they launching?
The blue space missile, something like
That's
that?
a Blue Streak missile.
Blue Streak missile. Do they go into space?
I don't think so. I mean, I have no idea. But
But maybe once you
do
get...
you think the Solway Spaceman knows about Australian rocket technology?
Right, they just see a rocket and go, well, that's going to
Yeah.
my house.
I mean, he knows enough about it so that he can go and see and get the thing.
And the other thing is, he didn't, like, the 2 spacemen didn't get on board the missile.
All right, maybe they
might
turned
have
up-
gone there and gone, well, that's not what we
look at
wanted.
this pissy little thing.
Yeah.
This isn't going to get us
That
home.
won't get us home. It's probably not going anywhere. Don't even think that would make it to the Earth moon.
Yeah.
I think maybe they can deliver satellites. Wait, the
It's a delivery
de
missile.
Havilland Propellers Blue Streak was a British intermediate range.
British.
That's how they got them there.
Well,
Stowaways.
yes. So the other big coincidence, they said they looked very similar, but also the Blue Streak was built at the RAF Spadadum. Spadadum. I don't know what that is. In Cumbria, which was just a few miles from where Mr. Templeton
Yes.
photographed the Solway Spaceman.
This is sounding a lot like the lab leak theory.
Oh yeah,
You know?
trying to take us through it.
No, me. I was just attempting to be silly just then, but it's just that.
Do you want to
thing-
explain your silliness?
Yeah, so it was just they were like the virus started, COVID started in Wuhan. There's a Wuhan lab there, so therefore the virus came from the lab. Same thing. There was a spaceman that appeared near the place where the rocket was made, where there was a spaceman, and then was a spaceman leak from the rocket builders.
So you're saying both are true?
I guess.
To me, they sound
so.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
Remembering we have to speculate. You
AJ,
said it
can
yourself.
you edit this out, please?
Anyway, pretty spooky.
That is spooky, I got to tell you. So are we thinking that there's at least 3 of these spacemen, or one of them might have doubled up and be the same one in Woomera as in Cumbria?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe the 3 spacemen were also the 3 men in black.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
Things
They
keep
could've
happening in
they could have been
threes.
women in white.
Yeah, that's
He
true.
was wearing white. That's good by women inside
Yeah,
there.
that's right. Why are we assuming they're
White-
spacemen? There could be 3 white lady
Funerals.
funerals.
Funeral ladies. And does this also mean that if they were there trying to maybe catch a ride on the Blue Streak space rocket, that maybe they were going to catch a ride on like either this man or his daughter up into space?
All right, they saw
That's the implication.
They saw the daughter in her dress and went, she's going to space. This kid.
She's
Yeah.
going to space. She looks like a rocket.
Yeah.
You know?
She a space taxi driver? That's what they look like back home.
I'll get in her head.
So apparently this all sort of built up a bit of buzz in Australia
Sure.
about the connection here. And as that happened, it was also claimed that a UFO had been seen at Woomera. Since then, Dr. Clark in his research found a photo of the supposed UFO. And he said, quote, "It looked like a triangle of light and that it was clearly a lens flare." So, I mean, without knowing what that means.
I was going to say, so is this guy skeptical or not? I still
No,
don't
he is
know.
skeptical. He's skeptical. He's saying it was just a trick of the light.
Oh, okay.
A lens flare looks like that. You know, when you're taking a photo and there's a kind of a flash of
Right.
light
I
on
thought he might be saying that's clearly the tail of a rocket.
No, I sold you out with my tone there. I was trying to do a joke there of saying a skeptical thing with the tone of being sincere.
Gotcha.
And you fell for it.
Yeah. Well, when you said whatever that means, I also went, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Well, I think we've got a lot to process here, so maybe we'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you a bit more about the Men in Black.
I'd love that.
Okay. Hopefully you purchase whatever you were just advertised. Let's go back to Harvey. Through the 50s and 60s, UFOs had evolved from a fringe tabloid section of the paper to the front page. These were the years following the infamous Roswell, New Mexico UFO incident, which we covered way back on episode 65, Dave.
Wow, 65.
Can't believe it. That's
Incredible.
so many years ago.
And then Barker's book served less as a conspiratorial manifesto and more as a collection of a new sort of folklore. This understanding of UFO phenomena and the Men in Black as folklore or cultural mythology was furthered by a 1957 report by famed psychoanalyst Carl Jung, which was called Flying Saucers, a modern myth of things seen in the skies. While Jung never argued for or against the existence of UFOs, he noted, quote, "Our time is characterized by fragmentation, confusion, and perplexity." Perplexity?
Sure, yeah.
At such times, men's eyes turn to heaven for help, and marvelous signs appear from on high. So I guess he's sort of saying that we're looking for answers.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the answers are there.
Yeah.
UFOs.
Yeah.
But he's just a symbols guy, right? He's like, he just thinks that, oh yeah, you're just kind of manifesting things with your mind and finding what you want to see.
That's what it sounds like he's saying. Is that his main thing generally?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, I've never heard it to be related to UFOs. But
I only really know Jung from Tism lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Young Talent Time, stuff like that.
Yeah. I was about to do a Jung and Jackson, but I thought nobody's not going to know what the fuck Jung and Jackson is.
John Keel was a UFO buff and expert in all things paranormal. Does that name ring a bell to you, Dave?
John Keel.
John Keel. Probably won't because it's from a long time ago, but he was a key player in the Mothman episode.
Oh, great.
He was the one of the main investigators. He went into the town to find out about him, and he was the one who ended up writing the Mothman Prophecies, which turned into a Richard Gere film. He's also the one that said the Mothman, if you see the Mothman, something bad's about to happen. He's like, John Keel is deep in all this. He believes in, he's like David Duchovny in X-Files, I think.
Is he kind of like an Alex Jones of the day?
Oh, I wonder. I don't know if he was yelling.
Yeah,
his thoughts as much.
mean, you know, when you didn't have as much airtime and you just had to write,
That's
the yelling didn't matter so much.
But yeah, Keel is said to have had several encounters with the MIB, the Men in Black.
Really?
Oh, no.
These occurred during his investigations into UFO sightings and other paranormal phenomena in the 60s and 70s. He said that these individuals often appeared as government agents or investigators and sometimes displayed unusual behaviors. Keel reported that he was closely monitored and harassed by the MIB. They would often show up unexpectedly. Just let us know if you're coming. Happy to have you.
Yeah.
Just give us a call ahead.
I mean, I don't have any tea.
Yeah.
I've got nothing for you. I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Yep. The house is a mess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
I
sounds
think-
like he's probably a single man who probably only has like one dish of each. You know,
Exactly.
Let me organise. I'll borrow a couple of mugs.
Now we've got to share a fucking spoon.
They would then question him about his research and try to dissuade him from continuing his investigations, implying that continuing his research could lead to dire consequences. Keel's accounts of these encounters were often included descriptions of bizarre behavior from the Men in Black, such as inappropriate or out-of-place clothing, odd mannerisms, and unconvincing disguises. Which, to me, is real funny because it's like, is this because they're aliens and they don't really know how to behave as humans? Or is that because these are weird UFO believers who are in weird costumes and trying to be involved, trying to legitimize your research? Because you know how we said before that some people say if you're visited by Men in Black, then that just proves that what you've seen is real.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's probably, now I'm starting to get into pretty...
Right. And if you see
out there
conspiracies.
Yeah.
So that's one rule. If you see a Man in Black, it's real. And if you see a Mothman, you're about to have a bad time.
Yeah. Keel, like many researchers, held varying theories about the true identity and the purpose of the MIB. He considered the possibility that they might not be government agents, but could be a part of a broader paranormal or interdimensional phenomenon. That's right, he was one of the ones that believed the Men in Black aren't just keeping the aliens a secret, but they themselves are the secret aliens.
Oh, okay.
As Harvey writes, like so much else in the conversation regarding UFOs, the Men in Black changed over time. No longer were they simply government agents offering a warning, they were mysterious entities unto themselves, seemingly human and inhuman at the same time. Proponents of this theory suggest that the MIB have the ability to change their appearance, making them look like humans. They use this ability to infiltrate human society and interact with witnesses and researchers without raising suspicion.
Oh my God. So one of you two could be one right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, I don't need to have to worry about that.
But I mean, you can tell from our outfits that we're probably not.
We're of the time.
Yeah, we're of the time. I mean, you are dressed in black. Remember that.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You're wearing a black hat, black shirt.
And you're wearing like old FBI style glasses.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. But my hair is not regulation cut.
Yes, and you're a bit unkempt.
I'm very unkempt. But I like that this has moved forward. Like, it goes, well, because at first it's just the like, in a way it's kind of like world building through community.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Because it's like one guy comes up with a thing and then another guy comes up with a thing and you go, oh, so, the community kind of goes, these things are connected like that. And so then it kind of goes, oh, this is probably an organization, right? And then it develops into like, well, it's probably the aliens themselves, right? But then it kind of like, we can tell from the movies that eventually it's like, well, no, the aliens and the Men in Black are in cahoots. Some of the Men in Black could be aliens as well. Yes. So then you kind of like, so then now you have the full picture of how it can work. And now they've got alien technology, but they're also fighting aliens, you see? Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of different people talk about it in those sort of terms. They say a few talk about it like it's a game of telephone, the American game of you whisper something, it changes, evolves.
American Whispers.
There's like a big version of American Whispers.
Yeah.
Because we can't say the one that we used to say, I guess.
Telephone.
Chinese telephone. Can you say that? And yeah, so...
actually, I have a Chinese telephone. It's a Xiaomi.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
it's much like that.
You got a Xiaomi?
I got a Xiaomi.
Never.
It's actually the best phone I've ever owned.
Oh, really?
Wow. Very, very reasonably priced. It was under like $400, and it's done.
And is this a paid?
This
ad?
is absolutely a paid ad.
Okay.
I mean, all of my information goes directly to Xi Jinping, but very.
You're on first name basis there for a second.
Yeah, I mean, she's actually his family name.
Oh,
you're on first name
they have the
with
family name first.
Yeah, you're a family first guy.
She know about this? You both family first?
Maybe she's born with it.
But yeah, it's really interesting how you say that. That's how some people see it, and also talking about it like a modern, almost a modern American folklore mythology.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
because it also has that kind of Jesus feel. Like, like you always hear about Jesus, and then they're like, oh, but they didn't write his stories down until 50 years later, 100 years later,
generations later.
Yeah. And so in this one, it's like, well, these things happen, and then people just have time to stew before they actually then go, actually, yeah, my memory of this is this, and they were hovering.
Yeah.
My eyebrows were on fire.
So I'll take you through a few of the things that people have said they've noticed when encountering the Men in Black that maybe make them think that they might be aliens themselves. Mm-hmm. So some MIB encounters have included descriptions of unusual physical traits or behaviors that seem out of place for regular humans. These traits might include unusually pale skin. Oh my God. Oh no.
Okay.
Yeah. Or no, a lack of understanding of basic human customs.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Oh my God.
Living in their mother's basements.
Or a sense of being otherworldly. Those who subscribe to the theory that the MIB are aliens themselves believe that these beings have their own agenda related to human encounters with UFOs. This agenda might involve controlling information, preventing disclosure, or manipulating human perception of extraterrestrial encounters, these are the same motives that they used to think when they were a human. group as well, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that either whether they're aliens or not, I think they're just trying to stop people knowing about aliens, sort of.
Sure.
Witnesses sometimes report that the MIB seem devoid of normal human emotions or reactions. Oh my God. I am describing myself here. This has led some to believe that they are not human, but rather beings who are attempting to mimic human behavior. I should say I don't live in my mother's basement.
Sure.
Witnesses have reported that the MIB exhibit a lack of knowledge about everyday things, making them seem out of touch with the modern world. Some accounts suggest that MIB appear to remain the same age over many years, sparking speculation about their immortality or time travel abilities. So I'm guessing some of the people who are visited by them they're working up a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting the same. Wait, sorry, have you been working with Jay?
Yeah.
J or K? Or 9/11?
9 and 11? Or are you doing 9 and 10?
Yeah, because we'll bring them back. We obviously, you've built up a rapport with them.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's kind of like the same thing with people just saying like, oh, Paul Rudd doesn't seem to age.
Oh my
God. Or
God.
Keanu Reeves, they find an old photo saying he's a vampire.
And then you go, well, yeah, but I mean, the years are still passing, and at some point you're really going to see it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're not seeing these people often enough, probably, for that kind of thing. Also, when I said the living in the mother's basement, I thought that you were implying that they were
dorks.
just people who loved UFOs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, yes. No, I figured that out when you said that one.
Sorry, okay, great.
But I was too far down the fact of being pale.
It was something that you
have. Black. And I'm like, oh my God.
Not making any sense.
Because Dave was already onto my scent.
Yeah.
The MIB have been seen consuming unidentifiable and often strange food items.
Oh, okay.
You're going to find this interesting, Al. Some have even been reported consuming excessive amounts of sugar.
Can we hear what's that sound like?
And water. More.
Like straight up raw sugar?
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I guess that is what inspired that scene. Sugar.
Water. Yeah, because he's a bug or whatever. But of course,
big bug man.
Bugs would have evolved. They would have evolved separately to the bugs on human Earth, and so human Earth is what I call it now. I've claimed it for.
You've given yourself away there. They're calling it human Earth. That's sus, man.
Oh no! Oh, weird that they had to get in a strange guest who doesn't understand regular customs onto this MIB episode.
It was weird because Jess was taken out yesterday. She had to pull out last minute. And we've only got text messages from her.
Yeah.
And then Al over here, the last time you were on, about a few weeks ago, you were saying how the Tunguska event wasn't sus at all, and there was a plausible explanation for that.
Oh my God.
It was obviously a meteor.
Exactly. That's what you were saying. And everyone else was like, well, I don't know about that.
So just, and I stand by all that stuff, and Jess is fine. She's doing really good.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So, another thing they say is they sometimes have peculiar greetings, including bizarre handshakes and making cryptic statements.
Doesn't sound like me.
Of Barker's 1956 book, they knew too much about flying saucers, Robert Schaefer, a UFO researcher, said, it still has an important legacy. Before its publication, nobody outside a very narrow group of subscribers to flying saucer newsletters had ever heard of Bender or his Men in Black. Barker would go on to write several more books related to the paranormal and UFOs, including 1970's The Silver Bridge, which helped spread the story of another popular paranormal figure, the creature known as Mothman. But how much of his writing was done in good faith has been called into question by many in the UFO research community. Schaefer said, Barker made it clear to me that he did not take the Men in Black or Mothman very seriously. And this is one of he's written he's collated stories.
Yeah.
And Schaefer goes on to say, however, he believed that there was still something mysterious about the whole UFO and paranormal thing. Yeah, I read somewhere that people he's just a really good writer. He had a great style and he was able to make it, which I guess is how you sell some of these things as well.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to know that one of the key writers on it, he's pretty skeptical about it all himself.
I mean, it's also strange with any of the conspiracy world is that once you've done something or said something that has got you attention and then it starts to fade away,
You need to make a bigger call.
There's a part of you that kind of goes, oh, well, if I keep talking about this, maybe I'll keep getting more attention. And then suddenly you kind of make it part of your identity. And then you're like, maybe I could just, fancy up some of the things, some of the facts, some of the things like that, so I have a little bit more to write about. And then suddenly, like, it feels like some of the industry now, like, and I am calling it an industry, like, especially during COVID and stuff like that, some people who were skeptical of the blah, 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 seem to have just been like, oh, now if I just make up stuff, people will keep donating money to support me and blah, blah, blah. And then it's just like, it just becomes like anything else. It's like doing stand up, but instead of coming up with jokes, you're like, I got a lot of new theories.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all it is.
And then you end up being like, I'm just a storyteller.
Yeah, I'm just a storyteller. Yeah, it's like fiction, but I'm passing it off as real. But I also actually suddenly do believe this now. They are trying to lock us down in our suburbs so that we can, they can do whatever. There is going to be a one world government. I mean, I actually think a one world government would be pretty good if it's a good government.
Yeah, it's got to be a good one world government.
Yeah.
One good government.
Yeah, and we want to have one of the better governments.
Yeah, if you, the odds are, power, cream rice is at the top.
That's right. Yeah.
I think we've found, generally speaking, that the best people for the job get those big leadership roles.
Cream rises at the top, and then it trickles down to the rest of us.
Yeah.
We all get a bit of cream.
We'll get a little dollop of cream.
Yeah.
Little dollop.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd vote for that.
I mean, you could definitely lift some of the worse off countries out with a sort of a thing like this. Anyway, I want there to be an alien overlord of Earth.
I also read a little bit about how there's a theory that the governments or whatever, the FBI's or whatever, release this information in the UFO communities. They get them to believe it so that they can sort of manipulate them and follow them along.
Right, so maybe you push that out there to cover up what's really going on.
Yeah, which is just way grimmer stuff, like just taking advantage of the land you're farming or whatever.
Yeah, right. So
like,
they put that out
you
there.
don't realize that what we're actually doing is mining. We're fracking
from the sky.
We're sky fracking.
Sky fracking.
But yeah, this one article I read by Steve Rose suggests, he talks about this a bit, and he talks about how government agents in the USA and UK infiltrated UFO circles and fed ufologists lies and half-truths, and then saying that driven by their own beliefs and curiosity, the ufologists readily accepted and propagated these deceptions, and this disinformation was supposedly intended to distract the UFO community, also to help them gather information about their activities and possibly mislead foreign governments, including the Soviets.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
What have they ever done?
One example Rose gives, I'll read this from his article, is about a guy called Paul Benowitz. Rose writes, Benowitz was a successful electronics entrepreneur in New Mexico. In 1979, Benowitz started seeing strange lights in the sky and picking up weird transmissions on his amateur equipment. The fact that he lived just across the road from the Kirtland Air Force Base should have set alarm bells ringing, but Benowitz was convinced these phenomena were of extraterrestrial origin. Being a good patriot, he contacted the Air Force, who realized that far from eavesdropping on extraterrestrials, Benowitz was inadvertently eavesdropping on them. Instead of making him stop, though, they told Benowitz they were interested in his findings. So basically, this is making sense. He thinks he's interpreting alien activity, but it's actually just Air Force activity.
Yeah, right.
He goes to the Air Force and says, I think I'm onto some aliens here. They realize that he's actually onto them.
Yeah.
And they go, interesting. Let us know what you find out about these aliens.
Yeah.
So they tell him to dig deeper, and within a few years, he was interpreting alien languages, spotting crashed alien aircraft in the hills as he flew around. He was also a pilot, and sounding the alert for a full-scale invasion. All the time, the investigators were surveilling him, surveilling them, and they gave Benowitz computer software that, inverted commas, interpreted the signals. So they're planting all this to him.
Yeah.
And even dumped fake props for him to discover.
Oh my God.
The mania took over Benowitz's life. It's pretty grim. And in 1988, his family checked him into a psychiatric facility.
So wait, this is a real story?
Well, I mean, I believe so. This is an article from The Guardian. I think this came out in one of the big info dumps from
okay, right.
who's one of the famous Snowden, I think.
Yeah, right.
I think maybe this story came
So they
out
were
from after
thinking,
that.
just in case he's accidentally interpreted military secrets,
Yes.
we'll spin it to make it sound like it's alien stuff. We'll lead him along.
And to keep him interested, we'll lead him along. And apparently they've done this to a bunch of different people, a bunch of different groups and stuff.
They're like, yeah, aliens. Love to hear more about that. Yeah. And then they're just planning props and stuff.
But
until he lost his mind.
Is this just
Sort
a
of
group
sounds
of
like.
people who are kind of having a bit of fun?
Oh.
Like, do you think that this is just like weird, like hazing of just a nut job? Like, you know, somebody who they're treating like a nut job, and they're because the problem with all this organizational stuff, right? Like you know, we're like, oh, it's this organization was doing this.
Are you pitching for a one world government again?
This is me trying to go for one.
This is the problem.
No, it's like because
We
there's
need
only
one
one government to control everything. No, it's just that like sometimes an organization, you know, obviously is responsible for whatever happens within it, but there could just be a group of people within the organization who are like on the down low going, hey, we could just fuck with this guy.
Like, they
You
think
know?
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, like if you're in the Air Force, you probably don't always have that much to do.
Yeah. Do they have their own poll?
Eh?
What are they doing to their poll?
Yeah, with their poll?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What poll?
Well, the firemen
Oh, yeah,
slide
that's
down
right.
it
Sorry.
while
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
waiting for something to do.
Yeah,
the
there's
Men in Black
they've
slide
got-
up one.
Yeah, they've got a horizontal
A horizontal pole.
Yeah, they crawl along
They're
it, dangling
sliding
upside
along
down
the horizontal pole.
like a pig
so
on
to
a
speak.
spit.
Well, you got to pass the time somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's either that or prank this guy that lives across the road.
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a very grim story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... And he
That
just...
was over like a 10-year period.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's stories like that of like the FBI doing all that kind of stuff of like, you know, just essentially baiting people into committing a terrorist act or something like that and then arresting them.
yeah.
You're like, see, well, he was going to do it because all it took was a little bit of baiting.
Yeah.
But, you know, we don't want people like that on the street who can be baited
Yeah.
into committing
We
a
planned
terrorist.
it. We gave him all the...
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. We're coming towards the end. Obviously, there's, you know, a million different ways you could... rabbit holes you could go down with this topic. But I thought I'd finish with a story about comedian Dan Aykroyd. Now, Aykroyd is a big alien guy.
Yeah, great.
His interest in UFOs and the paranormal dates back to his childhood. He's spoken about witnessing unexplained lights in the sky and experiencing a deep fascination with the unknown. In a video I watched on YouTube, he's being interviewed about filming a TV show called Out There, which was going to be on the Sci-Fi Network or something.
Mm.
And it focused on interviewing experts on UFO and paranormal topics. He talks about how he was filming the final episode when he went outside for a smoke because he was receiving a call from Britney Spears. He answered the phone.
Is this real? Is he being baited again?
Is it real Britney?
Yeah.
Could have been a deep fake Britney voice. So he's on the phone to Britney out the front having a smoke. And she's like, I'm going to be on SNL coming up. You want to be on with me? He's like, yeah, fantastic, sure. While on the phone, he noticed a black Ford sedan parked nearby. So he's on the phone to Britney Spears. He turns his head, sees the car, turns back, turns again, and the car has disappeared. In the video, Aykroyd suggests that the car's sudden disappearance may have been due to some sort of cloaking technology, or that it could have been related to the UFO and paranormal subjects discussed in his show. He speculates about whether this could have been an experience with the Men in Black or military personnel associated with UFO phenomena.
While he was on the phone to
While
a
he was
white lady.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
This is all tying back around together. Anyway, he went back inside the studio and was told soon after that his show was cancelled, never to be released. They were about to finish filming the last episode. Seems a little suspicious to me.
I mean, it does seem very suspicious. All the elements are there. A black car
Yep.
that you didn't see drive away.
No. And he's like, it takes a while for a car to... This is in the New York City, you know? I think he said a couple of numbers. 9th and 11th Street? No,
Yeah.
it was like 8th and something or whatever. And he's like, you can't just drive a car up a street and around a corner in a second.
Yeah.
He's like, it's a cloaking device, probably. I mean, he was just saying the facts. He was letting us make up our own minds. Yeah. So
Why was she calling him about SNL? Is he going to be on there?
This wasn't this week. This was a while back, I guess.
I know, but he would have ceased being in SNL. Like,
well, that's why she was inviting him on. She's like, she had an idea that it would be great for him to come on as a guest.
One of his old characters.
Yeah, I'm guessing Coneheads, maybe.
Coneheads, maybe that groovy pants guy.
Groovy Pants Gus? Oh, no, that was Jim Owen.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was
Bob Franklin.
No, it was Banner.
Oh, Eric Banner was Groovy Pants Gus.
Yeah.
Groovy Pants Gus.
Groovy Pants Gus.
Might be thinking of the detachable toe. That was on the Jim Owen show.
That sounds like one of my ideas, but that's great.
Do we know if Dan Aykroyd ever made it to SNL, or did he get cancelled by the aliens?
I wonder if we can find that out.
And I'm wondering if, if the Men in Black took out one of the Men in Blue.
Oh, he was one of the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
They wore black.
Oh,
they wore
my
black
God.
suits,
They're the Men in Black.
Okay, so this auto fills when I write, did Britney Spears and Dan Aykroyd with Get Married appear on SNL? Yes, 2002, Britney Spears with special guest Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
It happened. So yeah, many have claimed to have had encounters with the Men in Black. Their authenticity is still debated to this day. Some suggest that these encounters are nothing more than urban legends or hoaxes, while others argue they are a crucial part of UFO lore. So what do you think? Are they government agents, interdimensional beings, or some sort of manifestation of the human imagination? What are you thinking? I mean, in the end, this is a mystery episode.
Oh my gosh!
But
So, you don't have the answer?
I don't. Sorry, I don't have the answer.
No,
but I was hoping one of you could tell me.
I'm going to say government organization.
The truth is in here. I'm pointing at Al's heart.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Because Al earlier accidentally swallowed one of the answers.
The blue pill.
The blue pill.
Or the red pill,
but
whichever
through
one
his
is the
vein.
red pill. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think that there are probably actually are government organizations that have to do with UFO stuff, investigation. But I don't know if the exact organization has everybody dressing in black at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I'm like, how good are we as a species at keeping secrets like that?
Yeah, it's hard.
You just feel like there'd be, and now how everyone's got a camera in their pocket, you just feel like there would have been, but it makes it harder to believe, I think. I think it would have been easier to believe in some of these things in the 60s.
Yeah.
But now you're like, probably someone would have leaked a photo. Although there probably are photos out there that, and then you see a photo and you go, photoshopped.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I want it all to be true, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Mulder, I also want to believe. Dave, what about you?
I want to believe, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether there's like a specific organization, but I can imagine that, things come up and they send the FBI out there just to double check it, and they are often men wearing suits.
Yeah.
So I can see how that would be that kind of thing. But also some of the stories you told, it did feel a bit like that they started as one thing.
Yes.
And then over time became a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Bit of American Telephone was played.
Yes, absolutely.
But I would love if aliens are here and they've just been watching over us.
Yeah. If any aliens are listening, get in touch. Alasdair, you're on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at
Wait, Twitter doesn't exist anymore. Where are you? Where can they get you?
Well, they'll find me on X.
That sounds like something the aliens would use.
Exactly. I mean, Elon is basically alien.
Oh my God. He's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. You can find me there. You can find me on Instagram at Tremblay-Birchall or at Two in Tank for my Two in the Think Tank podcast socials or the podcast itself.
And there's over 400 episodes of that. If people want to deep dive and
401.
in a mania
wants to absolutely lose their mind, you can also check out the 400th episode video that appears on Stupid Old Channel where Matt appears.
What about 18 hours in?
About 18 hours in.
Something like that.
And, there's also Meso and Mr. Sunday Movies appear in there.
Cass Page. Bunch of old
Butter
Diggle
Sans
on
Pants.
guests.
Yeah, Jackson and Hayden. Dusher and Carnivale.
Oh, Adam Carnivale.
Yeah. We got some big guests. Andy Matthews.
Did you know that Adam Carnivale is our dungeon master?
I love that.
Yeah.
I would love to have my own dungeon
Our
master.
personal dungeon master.
Yeah. That's cool. You guys are doing really well.
He damned me yesterday.
Dungeon mastered you?
He dungeon mastered me, yep.
Slipped into my DM. That means he put his finger into Adam Carnivale.
Well, as we say goodbye to Alasdair, we say hello to our favourite section of the show. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, you might notice that I'm wearing a different shirt now. That is because we had a quick break as Al left. I put a straw into an iced coffee and the cup exploded, spraying both me, my computer, the desk in here, and the carpet.
Great. And coffee went everywhere except your mouth.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm flat for two reasons. I'm sticky and I haven't had my coffee. Don't even talk to me before I've had my coffee. That's not really true for me, but man, I feel like I could have used it today. Anyway, I'll lift.
You'll lift, yeah, and now you're wearing a fantastic Do Go On t-shirt.
It's like in any other work scenario, I don't know if I would have been able to just go over to a box and pull out a
Yeah.
a t-shirt.
Yeah, your offices, do you have your official merch in the corner?
Normally would feel a bit silly wearing my own merch, but today it was that or nipples out. So I think if I was going to feel sillier in one of those scenarios, it was definitely the well, it's pretty close actually.
Yeah.
And also Evan came up, Dave, didn't he? And he said, I said, would you have caught that on camera? Because that would have been pretty funny watching the coffee explode. And he said, no, though I was watching the screen downstairs and I thought, why has Matt got no top on? So I came up and checked.
Ran up here.
I ran up.
He was puffing.
I saw all the coffee and I thought, oh, okay, I get it.
It's funny. So it wasn't recorded, but Evan was watching.
Yeah, everyone was watching, yep. So this is the part of the show where we get to thank some of our great Patreon supporters. These are the people who help make this show continue. They help make it exist by supporting it financially, but also emotionally and just adding into the community.
Thank you so much.
Which anyone can do. If you want to tell your friends to tune into the show, that means so much. But if you want to get involved on the Patreon, go to patreon.com/do. Sorry,
How do I spell that?
I just shorted out there. Sorry.
Boo!
Sorry.
Can we reboot Matt there?
Yeah, sorry.
Is that the coffee that you spilled
I
on
got
yourself?
Coffee in my computer and in my own mainframe as well. So it's patreon.com/do.
Do you want to take over this
Yeah, I think
sentence?
if you want to.
All you have to do is head over to patreon.com/dogoonpod.
That's not how I'd say it.
If I shortened it, I would say.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of different levels you can get involved in. They've all got names. Dave came up with the names many moons ago.
Yeah, the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe package, the Arse Prod level.
The Dreamboat Cooper level.
Exactly.
And if you're on the Scheinberg level in particular, you get to get involved in the fact, quote, or question section, which I think has a little jingle, goes something like this.
Fact, quote, or question.
Ding. He always remembers to sing. We always remember the ding.
That was a beautiful moment.
And if you're in the Sydney Scheinberg level or above, you get to give us a fact, quote, or a question, or a brag, or a suggestion, or really whatever you like. And then I read them out when I read them out on the show, first time. And I'm looking forward to doing that now for 4 of our great supporters. First up, Jacoby Austin the Angel.
Oh, do we usually have an Austin in there? That's fantastic.
I think we've had it, yeah. Maybe that's a fresh take on an old classic. Jacoby Austin, the Angel. If I think the Angel is the, what would that be? The French?
Yeah.
The
Angel.
The Angel. And Jacoby, our angel, has given himself the title, you get to give yourself a title as well, of reformed writer of bloody long fact quotes and questions. And Jacoby's offering a suggestion, although it does have an asterisk next to it.
Okay.
Jacoby writes, "Hey mates, I'm writing in just after hearing my last fact quote or question read by Matt and Dave. My suggestion is that Matt and Dave try watching Parks and Rec again because it's great."
That's right. Sorry. Last time the question was, which Parks and Rec character are you? And I was like, I wish Jess was here because she's such a big fan of that show. Watched it about 3 or 4 times all the way through. And I'm sorry, Jacoby Austin to Angel, but Jess is not here again.
Isn't that Funny. Unlucky. Although someone did message us somewhere or posted somewhere saying they could help us out. They said you were the Adam Scott character.
Oh, great. I think that's what I said.
And they said, like, definitely, you're the Adam Scott character. I'm the Jurassic Park guy. Chris Parker. Sam Neill. Chris something. And
Chris Pratt.
And then Jess maybe was, I forget, maybe Leslie Nopes.
The main character.
Maybe the main character.
And I'm Ben Wyatt, played by Adam Scott. Bit of a nerd. Thank you so much for that.
I'm Scott. And
anyway, sorry, Jacoby, I just want to apologise again.
Okay. Well, Jacoby continues saying, my suggestion is that Matt and Dave try watching Parks and Rec again because it's great. I would specifically suggest starting with season 2 as you won't miss much and the quality is significantly higher. Episodes like Pawnee Zoo, Practice Date, Ron and Tammy, and Hunting Trip are all good jumping off points. I've been rewatching the show with my wife who hadn't seen it and it's fantastic. She now loves it as much as I do. Enjoy from Jacoby and Margaret. And the asterisk says, since Jess wasn't there last time, again I ask, which Parks and Rec character are you most like? That's so funny.
Sorry.
You're gonna have to try one more time again.
Go around again. Come on. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Jess was meant to, like, she's had a few, like, every time she's missed recently, it's been for a different reason. And yeah, this one was very unforeseen. She's okay, but we'll be back, I believe, in the coming weeks.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jacoby. Next one comes from Lauren Joyner, aka that person who shares too many pictures of her dog, but she'll never stop because her dog is rad.
Never stop.
And Lauren is asking a question, writing, what is something you look forward to every year that isn't a holiday, but you treat it like one? And as I always ask, Lauren has answered her own question. Writing, for me, it's Innings Fest. It's a 2-day musical festival in Arizona that coincides with spring training baseball. There are a ton of great bands and baseball legends who come out and sign stuff and show off their skills, usually the pitchers. Last year, The Offspring, Weezer, and Green Day were the headliners. For night 1. Yes, they played back to back to back. And Offspring, Weezer, Green Day. Not a bad triple header.
This is at a baseball event.
Yeah, it's at...
That's incredible.
It's at Innings Fest.
Innings? Oh, wow, amazing. It's music, it's innings, it's everything.
Yeah, it's good. It's got your 3 big loves. Music, baseball, and everything.
Yeah, and The Offspring.
Lauren says, my high school self lost her damn mind. It was amazing. Foo Fighters played the year before. The lineup for 2024 is coming out soon. And I can't wait. If you're ever in Arizona in Feb, check it out and follow it up with a spring training game. Best weekend of the year. There is also one in Florida. The spring training takes place in Arizona and Florida. But seeing as I live in Arizona, I'm going to say this is the superior one. How about that? Isn't it interesting? There's only 2 cities that do... Wait, Arizona's a state, isn't it? There's only, and so is Florida. There's only 2 states that do spring training.
Yeah, there you go. Love it. That sounds like a really, really fun annual thing to go to.
Yeah.
And it's probably something you relate to because you have it. I don't want to answer for you, but I assume you're going to say your annual music festival you go to.
Yes, Meredith Music Festival. Every year. Love it. I haven't missed one since 2004, I think.
So next year will be 20 years.
Only there were 2 COVID missed years.
Right, but it'll be 20 years since was that your first one you went and you've been back?
Yeah.
Amazing. I would say the closest thing for me that comes to mind is like the comedy festival here in Melbourne as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right up there.
That feels like a Christmas sort of thing and I love it, and I get the guide out, or I used to be like the physical guide. Now these days more I favourite shows, and then I get a spreadsheet happening to maximise how many shows I can see. I get very excited about international people coming or friends doing shows. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, I'd have that right up there as well. And then probably AFL finals, springtime as well. I think spring's just a great time of year. You're rolling out of the winter, sun's breaking through a bit, and it's just, and I love the blossoms on the trees. Those cherry blossoms and stuff. Great time of year. But yeah, that's multiple options. I think there's always something coming up that I'm looking forward to. Never happy in the current day.
Oh my God, no.
I'm always looking ahead. I'm like a shark. Thank you for that great question, Lauren. I'd love to come along to Arizona Innings Fest sometime. Next one comes from Jason Wessner, aka assistant underling of not having an official title but doing what needs to be done, and that's important. And
thank you
for
your service.
And Jason is doing a shout out. I don't know if we've had someone calling it a shout out before. Is this the first time? Is this the first time for everything? No, it's been done before. Sorry, I apologize. But it's rare. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
The point is, it's rare, Dave.
Exactly.
It's not the first time. That doesn't matter. Sometimes it's enough. You are enough, Dave.
More than enough. Thank you.
And Jason writes, I wanted to thank all the patrons for being awesome and give a special shout out to Aiden. Now, Aiden's told me how to pronounce his last name. Here, I think we say Coughlin.
Oh, that name, I could see it in my mind as soon as he said Aiden. And I was like, here we go. But it's also like a Coughlin.
Coughlin, is it?
I'm just saying that's what it could look like. But if you've been told, what have you been told, do you think?
I can't remember. Because I say it wrong, because I always say Coughlin. And he says that's not right.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my God.
Oh, gosh.
Can you Google pronunciation of Coughlin while I continue to talk, or vice versa?
Yes.
Aiden continues. No, hang on. Aiden doesn't continue.
Aiden's shout out continues.
Aiden's shout out continues from Jason. Oh, have you heard, the term, are you chasing? I'd never been asked that before, but walking home from this very studio last week, a couple of guys stopped me and Alasdair Tremblay-Birchall were walking along the road. I go, you guys chasing?
As in, like, you want some drugs?
Yeah, and I said, what? Sorry. Oh, no. He's like, you know anyone who's chasing? I said, no. And they're like, you sure you're not chasing? I said, no, I'm sure. And it reminded me of this time where a friend's boyfriend at the time, ex-boyfriend, his name was Jason, and he was asked that question at a party by a stranger. You chasing? Yeah. Why? And then this really long, confusing interaction.
Well, I've got what you want. What do I want?
What do I want? Wait, are you chasing or not? Yeah.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Moore. I'm Jason Moore.
Yeah, more
You're
what?
Jason Moore what? I might have an answer for how to say Coughlin, the surname. This is from howtopronounce.com. This has 4 ratings, this pronunciation. Haven't heard it yet. Let's all do it together. Bring it to the mic. Here we go.
Coughlin.
Coughlin.
Oh, that's what I say.
Coughlin.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a real gruff voice.
Coughlin.
Garglin.
Garglin.
You're gargling here. You can't gargle
I'm
here.
Sergeant Coughlin.
Yeah, I'm
All right, one more.
gargling.
There's one more.
Coughlin.
Young person saying it. And so they sound annoying. It's like they're annoyed at their dad. So what's your friend's name again?
Coughlin.
I don't want to have to tell you again. Oh, hang on. Oh, I found it. I found one of the places where Aiden corrected me on a who knew it question. Colin.
I mean,
Aiden Colin.
I don't want to.
This is Aiden Colin.
I don't want to start beef with Aiden, but according to howtopronounce.com, you're pronouncing it incorrectly.
Well, it is his name. I'm not going to allow Aiden to make a call on that one.
I found 2 more. Let's see if we can get a call in.
Coughlin.
Ooh, Coughlin.
Okay, that's different. Okay. And finally?
Coughlin.
Gargling.
Sorry, mate.
Wow. So when I say it like that, it's not, you're not just annoyed at me because I'm saying it in this new weird way you haven't heard before. It's because people do that to you every day.
Yes.
Anyway, Jason continues. Are you Jason?
It's really funny.
Talking about maybe there's stand-up in there. Got to try stand-up. But Jason continues saying, my wife and I run a music studio and I handle the admin side of things. I'm not great with organising, so I recently asked for help from the WhatsApp group, and Aiden was kind enough to help me streamline our system to make things a lot easier for me when we get new students signing up.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? So there's a Patreon WhatsApp group. Well, full disclosure, we're not in there. We don't know what goes on there, but it sounds lovely.
Yeah, haven't been invited. And frankly, wouldn't accept even if it was now.
Yeah, right.
It's been that long. Probably for the best. I imagine they're being really honest in there about the show. Anyway,
Yes.
and I can't handle it. I'm too fragile.
We
but,
hate honesty.
yeah, says, this really is the nicest corner of the internet, and I really appreciate being part of it. Hey, we appreciate you being a part of it too, Jason.
Appreciate you.
Really appreciate that. Appreciate you. Finally, this week, we got one from Donna Zyber. I would have said Zeba, but luckily Donna put in brackets, pronounced like cyber.
Donna
But-
Zyber.
Zyber. Unfortunately, Donna didn't put in how to pronounce cyber. So if I'm saying that different how you do, that doesn't really help us. Anyway, Donna's title is Donosaurus Rex, archivist of all do-go-on things older than Matt, if there are such things. Well, yeah. Big Bang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
Some
I
of the
don't
older
think
ones?
So. Well, yeah.
The originals? You don't remember the originals.
Well, I don't remember
You were
'em.
probably a baby.
Yeah, but I was around before him. Donna's offering us a fact, writing, you were always 7 years behind in Ethiopia. Right now, it's 2016. Here's why. Oh, and a link. Oh my God.
Oh my god, you
I've got
better
to
be.
do my own
I
research.
feel like you're about to be rickrolled here.
Never
Is it set
gonna,
up?
never gonna give, never gonna give. Yeah, it does feel a bit like that. Oh, it's quite a long article. So most countries follow the Gregorian calendar, which is such a great name for a calendar, or a boy or a
Yes.
girl.
Beautiful.
Ethiopians follow their own ancient calendar.
Incredible.
The Ethiopian calendar goes by the belief that Jesus Christ was born in 7 BC, that is 5,500 years after God's promise to Adam and Eve, and started counting days from that year on. There you go, so close. So they reckon that we're just a short 7 years off.
Right. So that he was born before
Hmm.
Christ.
Yeah, I think Christ came 7 years before Christ.
That's hard to remember.
Yeah, I wonder if there was some sort of yeah. Wouldn't that have created like a tear in the space-time continuum?
Yeah.
He was born before he was born. Anyway, bit of fun there. Hey, we're just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, always.
Thank you so much to Donna for that. I'd never heard that. Do you know that?
I didn't know that about Ethiopia, no.
Because you know your way around Africa slightly.
Well, yeah, I know a map.
Yeah, you know.
I've looked at a map, know a few capitals.
What's the capital of Ethiopia?
Addis Ababa.
Oh, great name.
But I didn't realize, and it's funny that out of all the countries in that area, they sound like they're the only one.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
I mean, Donna didn't specifically say that the others weren't as well.
You're right, exactly. The other East African countries, who knows?
Thank you so much for that, Donna. The next thing we like to do is thank a few of our other great Patreon supporters. Jess normally comes up with a bit of a game to play based on the topic at hand. What are you thinking, Dave?
What are we thinking?
What did we talk about today?
Men in Black.
Men in Black.
We
We
could say
could
what-
put them in a colour.
What colour they are? That sounds fun.
Do you reckon we can come up with 9 colours?
No.
That's the only
It's a
trick.
bad system. It's a bit like the alphabet system,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I reckon.
Let's do it. Let's try.
Let's do it. And are they men though, or we'll have to give them, maybe they could be something else.
Oh, yeah. What about we say what they are and what colour they're in?
Yes. And I think we do it like this. I read out a name.
Yeah.
You say what they are. I
Okay.
say the colour.
Okay.
You read out a name. I say what they are. You say the.
Love this system.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I think I'm going to get it.
Yeah. I think I explained it pretty well. Hey, it's episode 420, by the way. So.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'll just sit here and blaze it.
Yeah,
And
you're gonna blaze one.
Can I ask you a question? Are you Jason?
Yeah. I'm Jason, and I'm blazing. We are a couple of pretty rad.
Absolutely. Oh, let me just puff on this. My asthma puffer.
I would have. Someone suggested a while ago, and I was meaning to do it. It wasn't until we just had that break before that Dave confirmed this was episode 420.
Matt
I
thought
thought
this
it
was
was
419 this whole time. See, maybe you are,
I lost a bit of
smoking a bit
time.
of the devil's lettuce.
What-
Yes.
What if maybe the Men in Black just took an episode of? That's a whole week.
419's the lost week.
Could be. I don't recall it at all. Is it because we haven't recorded it yet?
I can't even remember. We haven't.
Oh, okay, that would be
All right,
right.
everyone, but what a great episode it was.
So that's, you know what? Not the wildest mistake I made there, thinking this was 419, seeing as
Yes.
it's the 419th episode we've recorded.
Yes. It is. It is absolutely right.
All right, first up, I'd love to thank from Victoria in British Columbia, Canada, Tyson Rand.
And Tyson Rand is the Pomeranian in
Blue.
Ooh. That's quite a good combo.
Yeah, that's a good combo.
Bit of
Which
a
ones? Are they the puffy dogs?
Little puffy orange ones
Oh, that's a fantastic combo.
with a little puffy tail.
Was it the same? You'll know this. The dog in the cartoon Christmas special of the nanny, was that a Pomeranian?
Oh, the cartoon Christmas special.
Yeah. You know the opening credits are in cartoon form. They did a whole episode like that for Christmas.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know. I'm looking at it and I've Googled it. This looks like a bit of a pom. This is a pom.
Okay, thanks for putting it into terms. I understand. Do we want to go for one, or should I do 5? You do 4. I'll stick with me.
Okay, now I'm doing nanny dogs. She does have a Pomeranian.
Oh, there you go.
Chester.
Yes, Chester, and it talks in that episode.
And then it's on the show too.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. On the nanny, it's one of those things on Google where it gives you a sentence, but it starts halfway through. Nanny, comma, was Fran Dresser's dog in real life. The adorable pup's full name was actually Chester,
Whoa.
which is Miss Babcock's dog on the show.
Ah, CC.
Ah, so
That
we'll
old
hang out
devil.
with, that's why I was stoked to see, and it looks like a pom, but I'm just confirming. TV show, Chester, dog
It's important.
breed. Pomeranian confirmed.
Isn't
Playing-
that wild? Why would I know that?
You're incredible because you love dogs.
I'm incredible.
You're incredible.
Next up, I'd love to
You're my
thank
goddamn hero.
from, how good's this city name? Crumlin. From, in Great Britain, Crumlin. And it's Cream Cracer. Cream Cracher. Cream Cracker?
Cream. I love it.
Because it's spelled like the Irish crack with an ER. So maybe it's a pun, a cream cracker pun.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe not. But they're from Crumlin, which
From
sounds
Cromwell.
like
and,
it.
and they are the top hats in.
Sandy yellow.
Ooh, nice. So I'm wondering, is it like someone wearing a top hat and the rest of them sandy yellow? Or is the top hat sandy yellow?
I think they're
Everything.
everything.
That's good stuff.
Everything they're wearing, that is.
Yeah.
That's what they're in. Thank you so much to Cream Cracker. I'd also love to thank from Doncaster in Great Britain. It's Amy.
Amy, one of the ladybugs in.
Purple.
Oh, that's nice.
Ladybug in purple. Can you get purple ladybugs? You can get yellow and red ones, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you can get purple.
Hmm.
But maybe they're purple and then they're wearing like a red jacket over the top. That would look good.
Oh, that would be a nice combination. I mean, red is in purple.
Wow.
Makes up about 50% of it, I believe.
Wow. The more you know.
Next up, I'd love to thank. I might even be in this city right now. I'm not sure. From San Francisco in
That's about to go to
California.
America.
It's Dee Mandark.
Dee Mandark. Absolutely incredible. This one, you love this one. What about the chimps in?
Oh, alabaster. I don't know. What does that mean? Is that a color?
I don't know.
Alabaster. It's a good word. But what does it mean?
Alabaster. A translucent form of gypsum or calcite, typically white. There you go.
Okay.
White.
Alabaster what? That's what I meant.
Alabaster, that makes me think of Alexi and Cam on their Finding Drago show. Todd Noy's other story was the Alabaster Wars.
Oh.
Is that why it's in your head?
Could be. Still ringing around from 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, listen to that podcast, Finding Drago. Fantastic stuff. That was Dee Mandark. And do you want to do one more? Or do you want me?
Yeah, I'd love to do one more.
Please.
Finally from me, I'd love to thank from Cottakill in New York,
Wow, Cottakill.
Kieran Ligon Casey.
Kieran, if they were in the Tribute Club, I'd say Kieran friggin' Casey.
Yeah.
That's a great name. Kieran is the, see what you do with this one. The blue whales in,
Pink.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, I think that would look very sharp.
I'm imagining one of those sort of 60s fluffy dressing gowns
Yes.
wrapped around a blue whale.
Oh,
A
man.
lot of frill.
That's the kind of blue whale I'd love to hang out with.
Yeah, fashionable whale.
So this episode comes out on the 8th of the 11th. No, I will not be in San Francisco. I will be far, far away.
In?
Seattle.
Oh,
baby, the bird morning, I'm telling. If there's a Fraser walking
Is
tour,
there
you
a
better
TV
believe I'm on it.
there better be one.
They're better.
There better be.
I haven't looked into anything like that, but I'm sure there's got to be a Fraser walking tour.
Seattle, that's where I showed you they have that sculpture of that thing that look like a monster under a bridge that's like crushing a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh.
And it's actually a Beetle car inside that they've just covered in concrete or whatever. And
You think that's worth a look?
yeah, because when I was shortlisting for our US tour that sadly couldn't happen this month. We're hoping to do it next year, and you better believe I'm going to see this monster, whatever it is.
It's funny. I'm still going on the little holiday that I was planning at the end of the tour.
Yeah,
It's just not.
I really earned this.
Yeah. Do you want to thank a few for us, Dave?
Absolutely, would love to do that. It's the Fremont Trolls that I'm talking about. The Fremont Trolls, if you want to look that up, it's very cool looking. I would like to thank from Bellbird Park in Queensland, beautiful sounding place, and the home of Trudy Lawson.
Trudy Lawson, of course, is a magpie in.
Lime green.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
The green would really pop off the black and white of the magpie.
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm talking Australian magpie, not those beautiful Irish ones that we saw years
God,
ago.
that's-
God, that was a beautiful
That's
magpie.
a hot bird.
I think the Australian magpie is fantastic.
Yeah, they're just not quite as hot. They're just very
not as hot.
nice.
They're just a strong-looking bird.
Yeah, exactly. You trust it.
With a beautiful warble.
Oh, lovely sound.
It's beautiful just like that.
Love.
I think it sounds pretty much like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. From one.
Oh
beautiful-
my god! I just realised that they're from Bellbird, and that's how my brain somehow connected to magpie, another bird.
What about this
How do I do
incredible sounding place from Happy Valley in South Australia? Lovely sounding place for Catherine Kerr.
Bottle of Guinness.
What about a fuchsia?
Oh yeah, you're picturing like a fuchsia stubby buddy.
Yeah.
I think my brain, just to unpack this, there's a Happy Valley in country Victoria as well. And I remember going there with my dad one time, and he was like, and there was Guinness on tap. And he's like, oh, this is fantastic. You don't see Guinness on tap at many pubs around here. We'll have a couple of...
we got it. When you see it, you've got to indulge.
Yeah. I was about 13, so I can't remember if I was able to have a sip. What's the rule here? If there's a meal, you're allowed to be underage or something?
Yeah. For every chip on your plate, you can have one sip. One chip, one sip.
One chip, one sip. It's a good rule.
The chip sip policy. Thanks to Catherine. I'd like to thank from Billings in MTUS. Where's MT?
Montana, maybe?
We've got to look this up. It is Billings in Montana. Fantastic. Elevation 952 meters. Beautiful place. Sounds fantastic for Ace Andrews.
Not too far away from where I am right now in Seattle.
Yeah, that's right. Ace. We've really missed that name. Ace Andrews. This is incredible.
Ace Andrews is fantastic. And congratulations for downing 5 planes. I think that's how you get the name.
Yeah, that's right. In the World War I.
Billings, we just lost our Jack Billings, the Saints player, to Melbourne this year.
What?
He's now a demon. So I'm going to say Ace is a demon in...
You've heard of Jet Black. How about Jet Brown?
Demon in Jet Brown. That's what happens when I do a loop-de-loop. I Jet Brown my pants.
Oh, you don't want to do a loop-de-loop while you're doing a Jet Brown. It's going to go everywhere.
A gentleman never does that. And finally, Dave, who you got to thank here?
I'd like to thank from Durham in, would you believe it, North Carolina.
Quick fun fact. This is where the first sort of commercially successful like mini golf course was from, and it was called Thistledew.
And is that a pun?
Jury's still out on it.
We think it might be a pun. We've got our best researchers looking into it.
And if you don't like that for a fact, did you know that Venus flytraps are native to North Carolina?
Wow. And will you be visiting North Carolina on this trip?
I won't. I'm going to get to Gary, and then I really want to... I mean, I don't even think I'm going to get to Ohio. I just don't have enough time. I wanted to get to Ohio. I wanted to get to Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. I wanted to travel the Golden Mile. I wanted to have a creamy in Vermont, but we'll have to save that for the tour.
That's right. Because the Golden Mile, you got to really keep going to get up to the creamy.
Yes.
So I appreciate it.
The Golden Mile has a big kink at the end. A big creamy kink. I also want to go to Mothman Town.
Where's that again?
It's in Virginia.
Oh,
maybe
right.
West Virginia. Where is it? It's called?
Got to keep going on the Golden Mile.
Yeah. The Golden Mile is it's a bit of a semicircle. So thank you so much to Nikki, Ace, Catherine
I
Trudy.
don't think we didn't give any. We got so distracted by Durham, North Carolina.
God.
We didn't actually officially say thank you so
Nikki,
much.
thank you so much.
To Nikki, that's right, from North Carolina.
When I think Nikki 6. So Nikki is the numeral 6.
The number 6, and they are wearing a mauve.
Oh, yeah.
Six and mauve.
6 and mauve. That's fantastic. Thank you so much to Nikki Ace, Catherine Trudy, Kieran, Dee Dee, Amy, Cream, and Tyson.
Thanks, Cream.
Thanks, Cream. The last thing.
I'm Bono. I'm Cream.
I'm Cream.
When Bono rebranded as a character called Cream.
Oh, we had a good laugh about that when we were staying in Ireland a few years ago.
That's when you are so big and people have said yes to you for so long. You could just say, I'm going to be a character called Cream.
I've got a memory of doing this Patreon section of an episode when we were in Ireland and that coming up and just crying, sitting on the floor, recording it and crying with laughter. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
I'm Cream.
I'm Cream.
The man's a genius. That leaves only the Triptych Club section to go, Dave, and we have quite a few inductees in. Are you ready to welcome them in?
I absolutely am. Should we explain the Triptych Club? It's our Hall of Fame, our clubhouse to the stars, people that have been on the shout-out level or above for 3 consecutive years. They've already had a shout-out, but they've stayed true. They've stuck with us through thick and thin.
Thick and thin cream. And they...
and whipped.
Yes. And they... I don't know if we've mentioned this before, but each of the inductees also get a star on the Triptych Club Walk of Fame.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's a long street now.
It is a long street.
It's getting longer every single week.
It's really good, though, for street cricket. So we go out there and we... it's tippity run. And as everyone knows, I don't know why I'm telling you, Dave, you know the rules.
I know
it's
the one hand,
6
one
and
bounce.
out, one hand, one bounce.
Of course.
If you hit it into mum's windows, mum's windows.
Oh, not mum's windows.
You're out if you hit it into mum's windows.
Dad couldn't give a shit about the windows.
Mum's windows. I was trying to be nostalgic. That came out weird. What was my childhood like?
Cream. Jess is usually behind the bar, shaking up cocktails, making food, but you've taken over this week to create a cocktail.
Yes, that's right. Well, we got the Men in Black cocktail weenies. And they're just, they're Frankfurters dropped in black food dye.
Wow.
And the cocktails, of course, are the Men in Blacks, and they are just a Guinness. Funnily enough, it's come up again. Guinness with a gingerbread man in it.
Oh, wow. Just dipped.
Yeah, dip.
I thought actually go right.
Gingerbread Men in Black is what we call it, but you can shorten that to the Men in Black. It's pretty gross. I don't think anyone... Well, I think we've only made a couple just for show. We don't anticipate a lot of demand. You normally book a band for
I do
this?
book a band, and this week performing all the hits off the Men in Black soundtrack as it was originally performed, David Schwimmer is here.
And that's just coincidence. Is that right?
Coincidence, yeah.
What are the odds of that? Because you didn't even know that he was involved.
I didn't know this was the topic. I didn't know he was involved. I did know that he wanted to. He on his rider or on his management got in contact and said, "Schwim is in. He's happy to swim to the club. He's
Sink or swim." That's a spin-off podcast we got to do eventually about the films of David Schwimmer.
Surely he hasn't been in that many, has he?
Well, there's all those ones where he's a zebra or a giraffe or something.
Right, okay.
What are they called? Madagascar.
Yeah. Didn't even know I was in those. Fantastic. But all I saw in the email was he would like to perform the Men in Black soundtrack, and I was like, that's a bit weird. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, that's all right.
He wants to show Will that he could have done it.
And I'm on the door. I've got the guest list here. We've got a few names in tonight. I'm going to read them out. Dave's going to hype them up with a bit of, I'm going to say weakish wordplay based on either where they're from or their name. But he's doing that with love. That's the most important thing. If you hear your name, run on in. Theatre of the mind going on here. Make yourselves at home and hang around for the after party where David Schwimmer is fronting his band, Sink or Swim, playing the hits of
Will.
The Men in Black soundtrack. Is he going to play brackets, nod your head brackets?
Yeah, he's doing them all.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He'll also even have a go at Wild Wild West.
Really?
Yeah.
But no matter we just couldn't afford to pay him the extra to play the Rembrandts.
He won't clap. He won't do the. He will not clap along.
He won't clap. It costs too much.
Yeah, we had to triple the fee for the clap.
Yeah, and he said, "I'll do it for $3 billion, but I won't have fun." And
Yeah.
we're like, well, we don't want to see the Schwimm sad.
Oh my gosh, no.
If you get David Schwimmer in, you want to get the fun-loving party animal that we all know and love, which has been typecast as. Anyway, so I'm going to read out some great new inductees in the Triptych Club. Dave's going to hype them up.
Here we go.
Here we go from Collingwood here in Melbourne, Victoria. It's Liz Brandt.
I'm going to rant about Liz Brandt. In a
Positive
good way.
rant?
Positive rant. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
From Hastings, also here in Victoria, it's Heidi Russell.
Let me rustle up a Heidi for you.
What is that? Fantastic.
Here's Heidi.
From Langwarren, again, right here in Melbourne, Victoria, it's Natalie Spirison.
Is there a conspiracy? Or is Natalie one of the coolest people I've ever met? This goes all the way to the top, where Natalie is at the top.
From Coburg, again, just down the road here in Victoria, it's Jess Mitchell.
More like a Best Mitchell. Jess Mitchell.
What's going on? Why was there a big rush of Melbourne supporters whenever this was 3 years ago?
Why do we do that? What do we do that week?
We set up a stall at Melbourne Central.
Yeah. We signed people up with clipboards. Hi, sorry, can I just borrow 5 minutes of your time? Oh, that's a lovely shirt. Now I've got your attention. Can I get you to sign this board?
Oh, that's a great beard. I get that a lot. I'm like, don't
thanks.
Don't give me compliments.
Oh.
You're going to make getting compliments feel weird now.
The other day I got stopped by someone outside South Yarra Station and I was wearing Kirsty Weebeck's t-shirt. Her branded merch, I should say. I haven't taken one of her many Adidas t-shirts.
You spilled coffee all over yourself.
She
Kirsty
said,
was nearby.
No, I was wearing one of her fantastic shirts, and the person goes, "Oh, that's a cool shirt. Where's that from?" And I said, "Oh, I actually got this from Melbourne comedian Kirsty Weebeck." And they said, "Oh, who's that? Who's that?" And I started singing Kirsty's praises for about 3 or 4 minutes. And they're like, "Oh, where do they perform?" I was like, "Oh, you can see them all over the town. Their gig list will be online. You should check them out." And then I said, "I've got to go now. Bye-bye." And then I realized I'd ended up wasting their time by talking about Kirsty Weebeck. I sold Kirsty to them.
That's great. Turn the tables.
Yeah.
Does Kirsty pay you much for that service? Yeah. You get a card, I assume.
Of course.
I'd also like to welcome into the club from East Victoria Park in Western Australia. It's Erin Holbeach.
Look, this ain't no half beach. This is a whole beach.
That's a big beach.
With Erin.
From Ballyfermot in, probably not how you say it, in Dublin, Ireland, it is Aidan McAdams.
Aidan McAdams. We're gonna take a call on McAdams, Aidan from Ballyfermot.
Oh. Clicking fast is hard. Did you reckon that's how you say it's pronounced Aidan?
Yeah, I think so.
Great. I'm so sorry if it's not Aidan. I'd also love to welcome in from the Woodlands in Texas. Sounds like you're, what are you hiding from?
Living in the
Wait,
woods.
are you in a shallow grave or something? It's Amy Keller.
They ain't no smeller. It's Amy Keller.
Amy Keller, no schmeller. I mean, I would call that damning with faint praise.
They ain't no smeller.
What a great smeller.
Yeah, but I thought that sounded weird.
Okay.
Like I'd sniffed them a bit too much. These things went through my head. Don't you worry about that.
Okay. There's got to be something better. Anyway, from Sydney, God's country, Ohio, it's Laura Denny.
Laura Denny, worth more than a penny.
Again, that would
Like
you could be
$0.01.
saying Laura's worth 2 pennies.
What about, you've heard of Penny Dreadful? This is Denny Undreadful.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Now we're getting somewhere. I still need you to fix up your Keller one. I'd also like to welcome in from Charleston in South Carolina. It's David Kapler.
This person makes me want to do a dance, a famous dance. The Kapler. The joke is that they're from Charleston. Did you get that?
You
Just
do
in case.
the old switcheroo.
Yeah, great. Good
Fantastic.
stuff. On you, David.
Second last from Berlin in Deutschland. Oh, how goes this name? Ute Martins.
Oh, hop in my ute, which might not make sense to you. It's what we call
It's a utility vehicle.
utility vehicle with a tray. Ute Martins. Something about Doc Martins. Doc Ute.
Yeah. Well, this very episode, you were giving people the title of Doc. Maybe you could bestow that on
Please.
you.
Doc Oot.
Doc Oot.
I think that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Go on
And
in.
Finally, first one here from, can only assume from deep within the
my
fortress of the
goodness.
moles. There's no address here. It's David Plant. Oh my God, this is an alien if I've ever heard of one. No address. Literally says plant in your name. You're here to spy on us, David. Aren't you, David?
David? Oh, very, very quiet there, David. Where are you?
David Plant.
David Plant.
I'm going on a rant.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Positive rant.
A positive rant about David Plant. That's good stuff. And you think I should redo Amy Keller?
Yeah, and you can't. Well, yeah. What a Plant. There's got to be something better about Plant. I'll water you every day. You are the what do they call it? Photosynthesis. Synthesis.
Yeah.
Can you do anything with that?
I'd like to photosynthesize you.
Yeah.
That
okay.
sounds weird, though,
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
it?
it does.
David Plant.
I'd recant that for David Plant.
David Recant.
We're getting colder.
David Pant?
David Pant.
You make me David Pant.
Oh, I actually had to change my David Pants before because I spilled coffee
Yeah,
all over
coffee
them.
on them.
Went from shorts to jeans on a hot day. No good.
And what about Amy Keller? A fantastic speller.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't be any sweller than Amy Keller.
That's good.
Thank you so much.
I'll be a fortune teller. Things are looking good for you.
Thanks so much to all of you. And please make yourselves at home. David, you say Oot. I'll take that as you're the German here.
Doc Oot.
Doc Oot. David, Laura, Amy, Aidan, Erin, Jess, Natalie, Heidi, and Liz. Welcome in, one and all. Make yourselves right at home. And yeah, I can't wait to see the Schwim up there on the stage.
Enjoy the rapping stylings. Stylings. I'm sure he'll probably say it. David
Is he going to
Schwim.
do like other Will Smith movie songs, like Getting Jiggy with It?
He'll do Getting Jiggy with It, absolutely.
And will he do Hitch or whatever it's called? Switch? What's it called?
What was that one?
Dun, 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 ba-ba-da-ba-da. He did one from the movie Hitch.
Oh, okay, great. He'll probably do. He takes requests, but as long as those requests were originally sung by Will Smith.
He's a peculiar guy.
Oh, he'll even do Arabian Nights from when they redid Aladdin.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. A lot of options there.
Another one, Hey Sexy Lady
Hey, sexy lady. I think that'll be really good.
from The Schwim.
I think the Schwim could finally do that song justice. I look forward to. We'll probably be there when he gets the call from Will Smith that says, "That's your song now."
I'll be embarrassed, doing this ever again.
That brings us to the end of the episode, Dave. Anything to tell people before we go?
Hey, we'll be back next week with another blocktastic episode. We're into the top three next
Top three
week.
into the bronze position.
Fantastic. But thank you so much
the
for
bronze
listening.
position. Don't know what that means. Felt like it could have been something it wasn't.
We'll work that out in the next week.
Okay, right.
You can get in contact with us anytime at dogoonpod.com. There's a link to suggest a topic. You can jump on the Patreon. We've got some merchandise for sale. And tickets to live shows, future and even if you're listening to this in many years after we've recorded it, check it
I
out.
think you're going to say in the future.
Yeah.
So that's probably likely.
Yeah, but in the distant
Distant
future. Even as a
future.
couple of years, check the gig guide, our things that says live shows, because we might be coming to your neck of the woods soon. But until next week, also thank you so much for listening and goodbye.
Laters. We want to believe.